Roller Wiener Monday. Welcome to the show. It's 1 p.m. here at Trucking Answers International Headquarters. And we are ready to go. All right, it's good to see everybody today. Wild Bill was here first on Friday. I got that and first today. And I want to ask Misty, what do you do with all that darn lime anyways? Holy mackerel. Everybody get your wieners ready and get ready for the show. Today, Maverick is going to install driver-facing cameras in their new trucks, not the old trucks. What do we think about that? What caused them to do that? Any Maverick drivers? I'd love to chime in. By the way, they were invited to the chat today, so hopefully they'll come by. Roadrunner sells another division to raise some more money. I have their stock price. As of a little bit ago, it could have changed. Everyone that was in on that Swift lawsuit, if you'd gotten a truck from Swift, okay, the settlement was approved. We'll talk about when you're going to get your money. There's 20 best fleets to drive for list is out. And don't forget about Matt's. Is everybody going to be at Matt's? I want to see everybody at Matt's. All right, so let's do it. As they say in the biz. So I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so I don't know. It's crazy. Today. So Ryan, hello there. What's going on today? It's good to see you here today. I see everybody is here early today. Michael Muller, hello there today, and helping a driver out. I appreciate it. Big Nate, hello. What's happening? Larry is here. So you don't want drive cams? Who does, right? What the heck? Wild Bill is still here today. That is good. Mary R. is here. Thank you for being here today. And the president, George H.W. Bush, is here today. I always appreciate you stopping by. I know it must be busy having meetings with Lincoln and Coolidge and everybody else, so probably hard to get away from that kind of stuff. Backwoods, hello there today. You know, all the meetings and stuff that they have wherever they are, you know, hot or cold, I don't know. Christina, hello. It's good to see you today. Zach, rest in peace, Maverick. Yeah, I mean, what's up with that? Hopefully they'll be here today to give their side of the story. I wrote to them as well on Wednesday, and no response yet. So, but, you know, it's only 3 business days. So, there you go with that, right? Irishman, hello. All right, so where did I go? I lose my spot all the time. For people that don't know, Trucker Hershey is here today. Quake in Virginia, really? There's a quake in Virginia. I didn't read about that today. That must have just happened. So, I don't know. I'm all shook up about that. I didn't read anything about it, so I don't know what we're saying about that. Josh is here today. Hello there, Josh, and see what's going on. And what the heck, Quake? GP Transco, hello there. It's good to see you here today. Good afternoon over there. And just afternoon for you in another time zone. Backwoods, we're getting ready to rumble. I agree. Well, I don't know why would I. Oh, the mask. I got it. I saw that earlier. I thought, why am I wearing a mask? The virus. Got it. Darnell, hello. Oh, wow. Name brand roller wieners. Wow. How's that working? You must have one of those good jobs, Kim. Like maybe you must drive for Western for that kind of money. Kim English, you're here. Good to see you. FTC Vlogs. Hello from California. Josh Wright is here. Hello. Keto Walk Fit. Wiener. Right. Right. GP, it was an owner-operator. Yes, that was on that. Okay, wieners are on the keto diet. That's good news to know as well. For people, you can still have your wiener and be on a keto diet. I love it. Trucking Journeys. On your way to Pennsylvania from Mississippi. Nice. That's a pretty good run. Of course, not great this time of year, although it's 57 here today. What's the flavor of choice of the roller wieners? Cheese-filled. Always cheese-filled. That's what I say. Where do I work? Well, it's early, but I don't ever say where I work to people. I don't put it out there. It keeps them out of your videos, and I recommend that to people too because they could have something to say about your videos. Plus, I don't recruit for them. Why is everybody recruiting for their company out there? Hey, I've been here 8 days. It's such a great place to work. You have no idea if it's a great place to work. You just want the money. Okay, so it keeps them out of that. Let them do their own recruiting. Trucker Beetle Bailey, hello, what's going on? TAC Trucking is not on the list. But there is a surprise on the list. Marty, put your comments in slow-mo. It'll give you more. Well, I'm already behind the comments, but on slow motion, they go. I did try that once. They go really slow. I mean, I'd be 10 minutes behind everybody. So trying to keep up like that. Excited about Matt's good. I hope to see you there. Went to Roadrunner orientation and left. Before I did the drug test, the amount of lies he told, their stock, terrible. What's the stock? Was 707 in 2015. 1 year ago, it was 1362, and today it's 925 as of about 11 o'clock. So, nice. New CDL driver, Adzine, right? Heinous, right? Well, Hennis. Well, in your opinion, what is more money, flatbed or dry van? I like reefers. How about reefer? You didn't put that up there. And Steel Horses here. Hello there. What do you think about reefer? That was always my best deal over the road. Planning on Matt's. When will I be there, Mr. President? I will be there on Friday at Matt's. Rich, even with the forward-facing camera, they still call drivers in and coach them, even without it. Even with the camera, yeah, they call you for events, right? Unreal. I can understand looking out to protect us, but why question? Look, the thing is, they're questioning 26 safe years. Somebody's questioning that doesn't have a license, probably, not always, but they only viewed, 10, 12, 20 seconds of 20-some years and go, you're off by a few feet here. We got to come in and talk to you. It's ridiculous. I don't like it. Costco hot dogs take 3 weeks to break down in the body. Still worth it. But there's no Costco here in Lafayette. FTC best fleets to drive for concerning a crash once a year and very little training. Well, I don't know. You have to be nominated by one of your drivers, although every fleet probably gets nominated. There's probably people at Western Express that like it there. And then there's a bunch of other criteria that they go through. Hey, from Cleveland, Ohio, DCAB Gear Chamber, good morning. Happy roller wiener that left over from the Super Bowl. All right, I read about it on the TV. I read about it in the news somewhere or something. I don't follow sports. John Schneider is just a good old boy. That's great. I'll either be there Thursday and Friday or Friday and Saturday. Well, I will see you on Friday. Good afternoon, Ron Stevens. Good afternoon from Philly to Knoxville today. That's not too bad. At least you're going south. Antolin, God bless you. Hey, thanks for being here. I'd love for them to show up. Seriously doubt they will. Mark of Excellence, Center Motors. Yeah, I said, hey, here's the time of the show and all that. Come on in, and they may be watching it for all we know. We don't know. GP Transco did not make it to the top 20 list. We're not sure yet why. We got a call from the company that runs the list. Oh, really? So, yeah, let us know. I'm curious. There were a lot of, in the article, there's a lot of different criteria, and most of them have nothing to do with drivers' performance and all this other kind of, you know what they all are. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but for people that don't know, there was a lot of criteria, so I think you should have been in it, really. So, Stanley, what's up from Scottsboro, Alabama? Hey, what's happening, Romulo? Hey, Mark, what's up from Ohio? Picking up a load from Church and Dwight. Oh, Church and Dwight. Arm & Hammer, right? Isn't that it? I can't remember. Isn't that Church and Dwight? It's Maverick camera driver facing trucking journeys on the new trucks, 2021 trucks and newer. I don't know how they got a 2021, but they showed it in a video because many of you sent me the video. The new trucks will have them. The trucks that they currently have, they're not going to retrofit, they said. But as you get into a new truck, they're going to have driver-facing cameras. So I don't know if new drivers get it, old drivers. I don't know how they'll do that. But they're going to driver-facing cameras for your safety. It's for your own good. You don't know what you want. We know. Clay, it's a gorgeous day in Indiana. It is. It's a great day here today. It doesn't get much better than this, really. Roller wieners, where'd I go here? Intermittent fasting, exactly. Oh, yeah, Fleet Nav Systems, my ELD has died, and I'm loving it. The Omnimax, haven't seen them yet today, so we'll see. Is take a shower over the road driver Monday? Every day should be take a shower day. Intermittent fast, I don't like driving for companies that have driver-facing cameras. Yeah, nobody does. And the only one paying, of course, GP Transco, where it's still voluntary. So voluntary cameras, still don't mind. You don't have to have it. But if you want it, if you're like, I don't mind. A number of people wrote to me and said, hey, Mark, if you got nothing to hide, you shouldn't care. Okay, go to work at GP Transco. They'll pay you 2 cents a mile for the camera. So you can actually get yourself a bonus for working there of a couple of $1,000 a year. Over time, that can add up to real money. So there you go. More drivers calling last week about whether we are doing hair and drug testing. Really? GP Transco. I'm always surprised at that. What do you think about that when a driver calls and says, do you do hair testing? Is that an automatic rejection? Because that's probably what it would be for me. Now, how far back does your drug testing go? Why do you ask the companies that? It's crazy. Trucker Beetle Bailey is going to break out the steaks by shutting down early. Cooking on the grill at the Loves in Greenwood, Louisiana. All right. Well, that'll be great. I wish I could get down there. Got a Hershey's ice cream load in New Hampshire. Luke, where's that load go? Hopefully California or something. Getting it a high five and drive for y'all. I hate my company. I tell all the new hires that they should find another place to work. It isn't here. That's awesome. That's pretty awesome. Irishman, how did Prime make the top 20 list? Well, that's correct. Prime is on the list, and they've been on the list for 5 years in a row, I believe. So Allegheny Mountain, Pennsylvania in the tunnel. And by the way, up-and-coming companies, they listed as Wilson Logistics. So I don't know what to say about that. Maverick's new trucks have the camera and they're per incident. Yeah, that's what they say, right? They can be, here's Fleet Nav Systems. We'll see on Friday at Matt's. Yeah, we had a question earlier. People could post that question with an @ for Fleet Nav Systems for your ELD. I think that was Ryan, all right? So put that question out there. Yeah, they say it's per incident. Look, you never know what the incident. A pothole can be an incident, and then they see you doing something or that they don't think you should be doing. You're 197 feet from the car. I'm not a fan of them. Just not a fan of them. No guy who lives in his mom's basement, who is working on his college degree, who doesn't have a CDL, has any right to tell me anything about doing my job. Nothing. And I'll never listen to a word that they say. It's going to go right in and right out if they ever said something like that to me. Maverick drivers found out about the camera from a driver that does YouTube videos. Nice. No info from the company till everyone started. Oh, sweet. So they're going to keep it a secret. Well, wait a minute. They said it's a great safety improvement. Many of you sent that thing that they sent out, which must have been after this driver posted it. So that's great. But it says, oh, this is going to protect you in accidents and stuff. I'm certainly not a fan. Columbia, George, no freight to haul today. They got me working in the office. Oh, my alarm went off at 10 and I told them it was time for Trucking Answers. Thank you very much. Played for the whole office. So that's really good. Steel Horse, you like reefer? I always thought reefer was the best deal over the road. Really, I always got the longest loads over the road, reefer driving. And I didn't mind, it wasn't like years ago. This was all palletized loads, pull them off. You don't do pallet exchanges anymore. None of that problems. Inward-facing cameras aren't going anywhere. They're here to stay. Yeah, they're here to stay because we allow them. If nobody drove for Maverick starting at noon tomorrow and sent a message and said, none of your trucks move until the cameras come out, the cameras would come out. Easy. I don't know what they say. Claims are simply because they don't trust drivers and want to keep tabs. Yeah, that's exactly it. Okay, Trucker Todd, where'd I just go to? You work for Roadrunner. And I lost that. Okay, and they're a great company. Just have too many divisions. They're selling off divisions. They can't focus on the LTL portion of the company. I've done several videos about them. All right, I'm just saying, look, they keep selling stuff. They sold Prime Distribution Services, which has nothing to do with Prime Inc., which hauls loads for Amazon, or Amazon Prime, which hauls refrigerated loads around the country. And it was $225 million. They've been selling parts of their division off, and their stock is $925. And it was $13.62 a year ago. It's down 7% today. And it was $700 in 2015. So that's all I'm saying about it, No problem. Just shut down driver from driving all night first being able to join the live. Thank you, Air Gunner Bob. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. You're late, Michael. You blame Dallas. Yikes. JR had nothing to do with that. It was probably all just a dream. Who remembers that, right? Maverick supposedly put out a company FAQ. They did. Many of you sent it to me. I appreciate that. Company installed 4-in-1 drive cam, front, inside, and drive side windows. That's awesome. These mega owners who exploit drivers need to be bullhorned. Well, we allow it. The thing is, nobody gets exploited without their permission, right? The one at Arm & Hammer. I knew it. I knew that was Arm & Hammer. Hello, leaving KLLM. Now what? Yeah, now where are you going if you're leaving there? And why are you leaving? They're not going to retrofit the cameras, left comment wide open to change their mind. Yeah, that's what they say. They're not retrofitting the old trucks at Maverick. That's what I've said as well. Only the 2021s, which they have them already, I guess. It just turned 20, 20, but who knows? Anyway, the old trucks are not getting the cameras, so they said. Stop putting cameras in the truck. It annoys your cat. I wonder why the cat would be annoyed about that. I guess it's possible. Trucker Beetle Bailey, I'll be at the TA in Greenwood shortly. Yeah, right. Get over there and meet up. This is your body after 70 hot dogs. Competitors and doctors dish on Nathan's side. I'm not a fan on Nathan's. Shower day, now it's just living it up and wasted water. Yeah, some drivers are like wintertime. You don't have to shower all the time. The second episode of The Story of Drivers is coming out today from GP Transco on the Facebook page, YouTube, and the website. Check it out. Coming in a couple hours. I like that, right? I like the other one that was out too. And where's the video of that camera in the pickup truck? Good day from the oil field, Clifton. It's good to see you. Josh Wright, you drive for Wisconsin Express Lines. They just took the cameras out before you started. Now you have only outward facing. So just like Swift. Ironically, people should leave Maverick and go to Swift so they don't have a driver facing camera. Everybody bashes Swift. I'm telling you. No driver facing cameras, no contract at the school. It is not near. They don't deserve the bashing that they get. They deserve some bashing, but not the bashing that they get. Look at these other companies. So WL. Why did they say at WEL, that they're taking the cameras out. Usually they have some kind of reason why they're turning them off. Starts in Delaware and goes to New Hampshire. That's not super great. Maybe if you're home every day. Nice and warm out in Temple, Texas, Christopher. Hey, it's 57 here in Lafayette, Indiana. 2 cents a mile is hardly worth having a camera. Yeah, look, it's voluntary, but I'm saying if you don't mind the camera, nobody else that I found in the whole industry is paying you. Like, is Maverick giving the drivers money and a choice? No. Okay, so at least you get a choice and money, right? Money. $2,000 you want. Some people are taking it. So $2,000 or more dollars a year. Earthquake was in Louisa, Virginia. Really, Irishman? Really? I didn't hear anything about it. I believe companies selling the data collected. I've seen sample data charts. Haven't been called in yet. Maybe at Hang Review. Maybe. Maybe they do. How do they collect the data? How do they use your image? That'd be a question I'd ask them. How are you using my likeness? That's an interesting question to ask them and see what they say about that. Oh, well, What's your opinion on the interior Canada requiring melt? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I don't go to Canada or anything, so you'll have to elaborate on that. King Bob is late. Didn't want to touch my phone while driving. I appreciate you being safe. Believe me. As long as your choice, everyone wins. I agree with you. I totally agree. I mean, here's a choice. Take it. Here's some money. If not, don't take it. Absolutely. Why not be voluntary and see who takes it? Eventually, you'd probably get a lot of people taking them, I think. Maverick doesn't own the truck. The bank does. Well, it'll be like your car. Like I have a dash cam in my car. And the bank doesn't care about that. Okay, Fleet Nav Sister Jing question. Do you think that having the ability to exonerate a driver with a driver-facing camera isn't a good enough reason? No. And, that is always the thing that comes up from Fleet Nav System, right? What about exonerating the driver? No. Okay, it isn't, because it isn't used to exonerate the driver. 96% of the time, it's used to bash the driver over the head, coach them by somebody that doesn't drive and all that. I've asked many, many times, and people can hardly point to any examples where a driver was exonerated because of the inward-facing camera. An outward-facing camera exonerates a driver. The inward-facing doesn't exonerate a driver. What's going on? Why was this accident happening? Okay, and there's no, exonerate. But where are all the examples of all these drivers that have been exonerated compared to the I don't know how many thousands of drivers who've been fired, who've been coached by some hair bun wearing weirdo, who've had all this other stuff by somebody that doesn't drive. Okay, I will not tolerate being coached by somebody that doesn't drive. I'm not. And because they do not have the legal right to even do my job. If I saw them doing my job, I can call the police and have them stopped. And that person is going to watch 15 seconds of somebody's day and coach them? I don't think so. And no, I mean, this safety versus security thing, no. I'll take my chances, right, that I'm a safe driver and not have somebody watch me 24 hours a day. Otherwise, why not have a camera in everybody's house? And then if there's a crime, they can just go through everybody's house and look around and say, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, you got nothing to hide. So no, I'm out of it. That is never a good argument. Freedom is more important than the exoneration part. GP Transky wouldn't work for a company that makes some option. Look, I don't mind that. I don't mind the optional part. As long as it doesn't change over to mandatory. Mike got blocked by Pam's Driver Solution channel for calling them out. Oh, anybody that calls them out, they get blocked. You look at their comments, they have a years old video, it's got 4 comments. Because they cancel all the other comments. Making anything illegal stop them. Facebook and all these big companies, that's why the fines and make good with profit. No thanks on the driver-facing camera, Ken with Rider. I agree, right. Maverick said that Maverick drivers said they could do whatever they want. It's their trucks. I agree. Maverick can put the camera in. That's already been litigated in the United States. I'm not saying they can't do it. Never said that, right? That you don't have to work there. We're also voluntary at the company. Canada requires melt for all CD drivers. I'm not sure what melt is. Like, only thing I can think of is ice melt, and I'm sure that's not it. I'm sure it means something. Kim English, I don't need you snooping around what I'm doing. I agree with you, right? I wouldn't do it either. I wouldn't take the camera option. Most carriers about 50 trucks finance them. I can imagine. What kind of check would that be to write for buying hundreds of trucks? Yikes. Put a camera in your workplace and let you watch you. I agree with that. They never do that. Like all these companies, Maverick, do you think they're going to have cameras in there that drivers can tune into whenever they want? Like if their chair bumps the desk too much and it makes a movement, well, that's an incident. We have to talk to you. Why are you ruining the chairs, the office equipment? Nathan's hot dogs are disgusting. I don't like the skin. I don't like the snap part of them. You'll take Hebrew National. Right. Those are hot dogs from a higher calling. Her jackets are in. I've been with you 2 months. Does that mean I don't get a jacket? King Bob wants his jacket. Yeah. Captain Jack will take the camera for 2 cents. Hey, take it. It's an option. No problem. Take it. Take your money. And, I don't mind that. If they make them optional somewhere, that's fine with me. Anything that's optional is okay because you don't have to do it. What does Peterbilt call Roller Wiener Monday? All right. Yeah, Fleet Nav Systems. What was that question there, Rhino? Can I do a shameless plug for your less than mediocre YouTube channel? It would be even less than this one. Completely uninteresting videos of British Columbia from your dash cam. Is that the name of the channel? Completely uninteresting videos of British Columbia? That's a long name of a channel. So glad I was able to get out of Wyoming. I know they've been closed. They're closed again. Got an extra night home through this week. They stayed closed. I know, James S. There's still parts of it closed, right? Any company with the cameras is not great. Okay. It means you'll get a jacket in a month once you've been with us 3 months. All right. So 4 months to get a jacket. That's nice. By the way, I've been at my place almost 18 years now. No jacket. So I do not have a jacket. They've given up some shirts and stuff out, which I don't wear because they're not cotton. I wear cotton because it's softer and everything, but they're 50-50 because they're cheap, so I don't wear their shirts, and I never got a jacket. That's awesome. That's my opinion on J&J Express. Anybody here from J&J know anything about that? Wouldn't a driver-facing camera be good to show you were not doing distracted driving in an accident, Trucker Hershey? That's always the argument the companies, Maverick, and everybody makes. Hey, I wasn't doing anything wrong. Wouldn't you like to see that? No. I'd say no to that. No, because the downside of it is too high. They constantly aggravate you with all these coaching things, and you're falling too close because you're 197 feet instead of 200 feet. No, absolutely not. Get the outside camera, get your own dash cam. You should always run your own, and that's it. Set the camera off daily during your self-care time. That will teach them old school. Look, there's a button. I didn't see one on there. Lytics has a button on them, and a couple of the other ones that I've shown on the channel have buttons to send a video yourself. Press that button all day. Just press it a couple of 100 times. Why don't they put back cameras too to help backing? Yeah, how about that? Why don't they have heated wipers? Okay, they want to talk about safety. Why don't they put heated wipers on the trucks? They're available. You can heat the wiper. My Escape's got them. Okay, so the wipers can be heated. And then, guess what, in the winter? You can see because they don't clog up with ice. That's correct. Do they do that there? No. That's the aggravating part. There's so many things they could do for safety that would actually improve safety, but they don't want to do that. They want to watch you, and it isn't. If it was just to exonerate you in an accident, they wouldn't coach you on anything. They'd say only in an accident will this go off. But no, that isn't the case. We're excited about the new GP driver jackets. Water resistant, great. Warm, removable sleeves, oh great. So we can have the vest look. Oh, and the built-in reflector, so they're accessible. OSHA approved. And, of course, free. Sweet. Let's take a pull-on driver-facing camera or forward-facing. You should always have your own forward-facing dash cam just because the drive cams in the trucks, too, they may not capture things, and you can't access that right then. So a cop pulls you over and says, you ran a red light. Okay? Even if there's a driver camera from the company, it probably didn't go off. And even if it did, you can't access it. Your own dash cam will show immediately. No, I can show you right away, right here. This is what happened. So that's why you should always have your own dash cam that is recording. How do you get a job watching those drivers on an inward-facing camera? Does it be in roller wieners? It should. They should be beaten with roller wieners. I asked that too. Do they have the names on the jacket? GP Transco. No. Fleet Nav System, thanks for the info. I appreciate it, and we'll see you down there. I mean, to take a first-time ever blood pressure check. I know. The cameras just have me so aggravated at these places that they always tout the safety of them, and that has nothing to do with why they're putting the cameras in the truck. Enough of the cameras. Does GP Transco, do they come in patches? Yeah, you get a patch every 10,000 miles. If an owner-operator fails to pay your last check, how can I get my money? The owner-operator is leased on. Well, I'd call the company and say he's not paying me, which they probably won't do anything. So go to the state and file for wages. If you're working for an owner-operator, you're an employee, go to your state and file in the Department of Unemployment and say, my employer didn't pay my wages, and let them go get it. It wouldn't cost you anything. put tape over the camera so you can't see you, they'll fire you. Generally, companies say we'll fire you for that. A melt is a toasted sandwich. Okay. Reminder, please use at. Right, use at when you have a question for Fleet Nav Systems, which I should put all this out here, which I didn't do. Of course, here's GP Transco. I didn't put the 1,000. They have a $1,000 guarantee. Dang it, I forgot. I knew I forgot something. Here's a teal truck. I don't guarantee you'll get a teal truck because I've never seen one still. Fleet Nav System is here today. They're the Geotab experts. Okay, you want an ELD a log question, right? They're also on YouTube. They have a great informative channel. GP Transco is also on YouTube. So let's get that out there. And let's see. Gracie would like to get in on the action as well. She wants to know what's going on. For you people, hear my rush again? You people, a Swift Transportation, don't forget the settlement was reached. I know some of you did lease a truck from IEL, talk to you, Interstate Equipment Leasing. Okay, so January 20th, the settlement was reached with Swift Transportation. They approved it, the court approved it, and that means your money, the article said, will be delivered to you, basically by mail, by early spring. That's what it said. So if you're waiting for the check from your IEL settlement, $100 million settlement with Swift, it was approved by the court because it had to be approved. It was in full, checks early spring. Gracie says no driver-facing camera. Exactly. She doesn't want a camera watching her sleep. I have a 3-point camera system for front and both sides. Oh, so you have it all covered, right? I lost. Steel Horse has 2 company codes. I get 5 free shirts a year, many different choices to choose from. We get no choices. We have shirts that are like, Cinca, whatever those, like a company. So if they rip or whatever, you can give them back. But they're 50-50. They're like super scratchy, and you don't get any choice in them, and I don't wear them because I don't like them. So, and you don't get any choice. They said you can have a choice through our company store. And that's how you get a choice. These shirts are free. They give you pants, too, actually. Because they're like, what size do you want? I go, I don't care what size you give me. I'm not wearing them anyways. So, I don't know. They're in the back. The shooting that happened in Grand Junction was at a pilot. I don't remember seeing about that either. I look at the news every Monday. Gracie says, no driver-facing camera. I love it. Her Thermoblade sealant... heated silicone safety wipers. That's another way to do it right. I mean, you can also have them installed from the factory. There's no reason a company shouldn't do that. Wouldn't that help safety a lot more? Heated wipers. Boy, you know what? In the wintertime, you can actually see what you're doing. Inward camera, Rob Montana, is running facial recognition to collect data from good drivers to feed their system for future driverless trucks. Maybe. I'll wear tinfoil under my hat to block the system. That's good. Here's the thing. They're coming. I always say that. They're coming. Don't think like eventually you're not going to have a truck that drives itself. Over-the-road solo drivers are the first ones to go the longest routes. But look, that's decades and decades away before a truck can actually drive itself without a driver safely. All the laws have to be changed. The insurance has to be figured out, all that stuff. It's a long way away, and that might be to collect it, maybe. Cameras are a bad idea, you're right, because it can be used against you. It's not for safety. It's for the company. It covers the company, exactly. Could it be possible for insurance companies pushing the driver-facing camera? Maybe. Most of these companies, larger companies, are self-insured from what I understand, right? First million or whatever. At least large places are, I think. That they're self-insured. If you wear it, make it apparent. Always, right. Have you heard about the truck stop shooting in Grand Junction? No. One person died. Who is doing the shooting and who's the one being shot? My company has driver-facing camera, Al Johns, but I knew it when you signed up. Exactly. I'll eventually get fired on to the next one. My manager is an actual driver, at least. Look, at least the one talking to you is a driver. The thing is, if they actually start writing you up for stuff, I think you should quit before you get fired, because you'll get fired for safety reasons, right? And that's going to look bad to the next company. So if you're at a company, like if you're at Maverick and you get a camera, that's different than if you're not there at whatever company and they go, we have cameras. So that's a different story, quitting. But if they actually start saying, start writing you up and, in writing, I think it might be time to go, because it's not going to get any better. Depends how they enforce the camera. Some don't enforce it nearly as hard as others. Garmin has an app for your phone, has GPS speed. All right. I'd be happy with new bulbs in the headlights so I could see at night. They get dim. Well, the LED headlights are pretty nice. They don't get warm in the winter. That's the real problem. Wish they were heated, but that's great. Here's what we're going to do, GP Transco. All right, the first 10 drivers to go to GP Transco and fill out a contact form with the words, "Give me some socks." All right. I'm a 5'5", 185 pounds, Ryan, at Pure Lean Driving Machine. 3X. You don't need a 3X. Christina, teal is illegal. No teal trucks. Freshly out of real trucks. What the heck? Is there an early Indiana spring? Two very different time frames. I don't know. Wednesday is supposed to get 2 to 4 inches of snow, so we'll see about that. You'll get a pair of GP Transco socks and a hat in the mail. First 10 drivers over to GP Transco. All right. Fill out the contact form and get yourself some socks. That's pretty awesome. That's awesome. And wear them. Take a picture of them and I'll put them here on the show. So that's correct. That'll be great. We'll show the socks right here. Jose, thank you for what you do. I appreciate you saying that. You can send email of camera footage. Yeah, they can send an email of camera footage. Right. But that takes time. You're much better off with the cop. What are you going to tell them? Wait a minute, I get the camera footage. Your own dash cam, even if you have this company camera, you can immediately access and show them the footage right on the spot. Oh, GP knows some Chicago-based companies have given the industry a bad name, no doubt. But not all Chicago companies agree. But it's just such a base of, almost a den of inequity up there. There are a lot of bad Chicago companies, and I don't know why they go there. Jay James, how's it going? Been a bit since you've been on here. Been busy. All right. Well, thank you for being back. I appreciate it. It's going great. There's a company so you can cover the facing while you're in the sleeper. Yeah, well, the camera where they're located on trucks is going to be in front of the curtains anyway. So they're not going to see you. You close the curtains and it would cover the camera when you're asleep, certainly. Teal highlights with other shades of blue. I support you spend the time listening to us. That's more than most. I agree. I mean, where's Maverick in the chat here? Anywhere today? No. I said it because Chicago is not great. It's not a bad company. Yeah, that's true. Swift is their own insurance agency. Right. So for Swift, for that, remember, they don't have a driver-facing camera, but the deductible is like $1 million on these. How many miles do you have to drive to get $250 every day? I don't know. No driver-facing camera at KLLM. That's good. So far, they have tech that can see everything you have or have not done. So far, both. They have tech. What do you mean by they have tech that can see everything you have or haven't done? What does that mean? Someone said a CRST driver did the shooting. That's not possible. I don't think a CRST driver could afford a weapon. Missed the GPT part. Some companies are hiding the cameras in the corners of the cab. You can't see them. I don't know. Who would that be? Because I will tell you, I don't know of a company that hasn't told their drivers that they have a camera, that hasn't actually said it. Like, oh, we're running a camera and we're watching you. The things in the corner are usually a microphone that I've seen. The ones that I see are a mic. But other companies I haven't seen, but it doesn't tell you. How much GP Transco is paying? All right. How do you qualify for regional? Holy crap. Marked part of Wyoming are calling for 5 to 10 inches. I know. And Colorado, too. Big snowstorm out there. Again, the West is just getting it. We've been pretty lucky. We're supposed to get a little bit of snow later this week, but it's super great. Lunch break is over. Columbia, George, got to go back to the office. Be safe. Hey, at least I got you doing something. Thank you for being here. Al John's got a verbal for having my phone in my hand at a truck stop at a stop sign. My manager said if it's 3 inches in a holder, I'll CFI doesn't care. $20 saves me $60. Yeah, what you need is one of these CFI phone holders, and then it wouldn't matter. Exactly. You can get that free probably at the next truck show. I will say, if you're at a stop sign, having the phone in your hand is a violation because you're driving. That would be considered drive time by the DOT. So you're at a sign, the truck's moving, you just stopped right there. It's not allowed. So agree. And then this is the problem, right? Greetings and salutations. I have my phone right here. So this is what I do, right? I attach these right here on the phone. You see both of these here. These are 3M picture hangers, and they're plastic. Okay, they're plastic. And, of course, I attach the 2 more to the dash of the truck. And these click in place. Each one holds 10 pounds. Okay, 10 pounds. So that phone is not going anywhere. And that's how I can have it sit there so I can watch maps and stuff. And the phone sits there, and whatever truck I go in, you get 10 or 12 of them in a pack for just a couple dollars. And whatever truck I go in, if it's a different truck, I just stick 2 more to the dash. So the trucks that we have, half of them have these little plastic things stuck in them because I've driven that truck. I just leave them in there. And they just click right in there. Easy. That's how I hold my phone up there. And then it's held and not in my hand. Zal, greetings and salutations. Good to be here. Thank you for coming. Alexandra, if they've got a driver-facing camera, I hope they enjoy the view. Exactly. At least give them something to look at. Going to miss this current truck. No cameras, no speed governor, no GPS. Yeah. Wow. What if no speed governor? That's something. What if the company says you can't put your own camera in the truck? Mike, I don't know. I mean, why would they say that? What do they want? What do they not want you to say to see? I don't tell them. It's not like I say I have a dash cam. I just install it in the truck. It just sticks on the windshield. Personally, I don't see what the problem is. Again, though, if you're a company driver and it's their truck, I guess they can say you can't put your own camera in. I don't know what they would do about it. I guess you could put it in once you leave the terminal. Wonder if Maverick is still suffering from Super Bowl hangover. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Can a person qualify for regional or local being from Detroit, Michigan? And for GP Transgo, that'd be a long drive from Detroit. A lot of companies don't realize a camera on guard in 63 running trucks chase drivers away, and they complain about the shortage. What is something I heard this weekend, which I thought was interesting on satellite radio and XM. On one of the shows, a driver called in and talked about teaming, which I never thought about. And he said he can't sleep because there are all these sensors and alarms going off up front for the driver, and that they should have a way to silence those. That's pretty interesting. I never really thought about it. Because the lane thing, because look, as we know, you don't necessarily have to run over a line for that to go off. You're in a construction and then it goes off, and then all these other alarms and stuff. So I thought is that really improving safety? I think the trucks come with it, but I don't think it improves safety. We have a small thing in the corner of the window that helps light up the cab so the camera can see us. Really? They have a spotlight? Most of these cameras are night vision. They have night vision on them. Roger Penske is here. The Korean Mafia remains clueless, not even aware such a thing as driver-facing cameras. They're still stuck on no sandals in the yard. Please, no sandals. All you Canadian drivers that come in. It's the same as the local on four-wheeler. For vehicles in gear, it's considered driving. Yeah, that would be at the stop sign. It's driving, and so holding your phone while you're driving would be a violation. That is true. Do you know if the trucking industry in a whole is in a recession? I only asked because my work has slowed down. I don't think so, because all these companies can't get enough drivers. They're still begging for drivers. So, no, the trucking is not in a recession. There's more people, and people are still spending money. Economy's good. Hardly any unemployment. Everybody's got to eat, and everybody needs toilet paper. Just what you're doing may have slowed down some, but I don't see that happening. And if that happens to you, it may be time to go to a different part of the industry. GP is in Darien, and you grew up in the area, right? Went to high school near there, really? You need to speak to recruiting. If you have local or regional traffic outbound from Chicago, wouldn't be much of an issue, no doubt. Then, right. From what I understand, Smith was testing out separate camera systems, a total of 70, but when I heard they don't plan on putting them, wow, too many drivers, really. So they're saying, no, it's not going to be good enough. I agree. Cash is King Trucking. What's happening? It's good to see you here today. Too many of the drivers complained, and a lot of guys that have been here 30 years said they would quit. So they rethought their decision. All right. So here's the thing. They blinked. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do to get the cameras turned off in the truck. It's simple. Look how quick it can happen. You tell at noon Tuesday, nobody drives. You have the phone number. They call. By 1 p.m., the cameras are off, or they'll be telling you can cover them. Believe me, you have all the power. And the bigger the company, the more power the driver have. Your lane departure goes up when you're sitting parked. It's exactly. So what if you're teaming? That's not going to be very great. Is that safe to keep waking the driver up? Use Velcro on your phone, cheaper, and you can put them anywhere. Well, you can put this thing anywhere. This is actually this will stick outside too. These things will stick outside. They'll stick on bricks. They'll stick on anything. And each one holds 10 pounds. This phone and they're reusable because they just pop out, as you see, and pop back in, right? So there you go. I hate lane departure, front radar that slows down the truck. It senses anything. Exactly. The truck's trying to drive itself, but not in a very good way. If my camera goes off, I explain why it was the person that cut you off. The way my manager can look at the whole incident and not just your reaction to it. Oh, really? Yeah. Because they say that there's more of it. Even in the Maverick thing that they sent out, that it may record an extended period of time. I love that. Not just the normal 12 seconds or whatever. It said in the thing that many of you sent me, which I appreciate. And everybody said, a lot of people, hey, please don't use my name. I don't want to get fired. You send me stuff. I don't use any names and stuff like that. Alexander, your friend may offer you a job as a 1099. What's a good rate? I don't like 1099, so you got to get paid way extra because they're saving a ton of money and you're taking a big risk. So, but I still don't like it. I think it needs a 25% raise over what a comparable company position would take, but you're still losing all your benefits. So I'm no fan of it. Grand Junction police reported as truck stop, but it's a Maverick gas station. There was a shooting at a Maverick gas station. It's a truck stop because the truck stopped in there, right? GP, Alexander, please think before accepting 1099. The money looks good, but the benefits you get with W2 add up to more than 99%. I know. I mean, look, the insurance policy that I have here, because I looked it up to see, is $1,856 a month is the closest I could come to it in the private sector. All right, $450 a week. I pay $70 a week for that plan out of my pocket, which is higher than some people do. So, that's hundreds and hundreds. That's $18,000 I'm saving, right there. So you got to think about all that stuff. I think the best local job is Old Dominion Line Haul. All right, I will tell you, Old Dominion just opened a terminal in Lafayette. There's not actually trucks there. They just opened up on the website. So I went and looked at it. It does say line haul has to be gone an extended period of time. And I wrote him an email. I'm waiting for a response today to say, what does extended period of time mean? Are you gone overnight? Like, do they put you in a motel and then have you come back? Because the daytime P&D drivers, it said they're home every day, but line haul said extended period. Although I agree, right? Everybody that's written to me from there loves working there and makes good money. Michael would not do 1099. Trucking Journeys, the freight is picked up at Smith the last couple weeks. You did 3,400 miles. Wow. You did 2,800 plus 250. Nice. February is the slowest month of the year from your 20-year experience. All right for dry van. That's why I like reefer too. People got to eat all year. One adult in custody, trucker Beetle Bailey. At this time, not seeking any additional suspects. We can confirm that one victim is deceased. Wow. I wonder what happened. Thanks for the info. I've been started passing on a resume today. You may need one. Trucker Hershey, they just got your socks request. Give me my socks. I found an ad giving cash reward for reporting locations to sell it on equipment. Oh, well, yeah, put that out here. Where is that? Because many of you sent, and actually, the wife and I went to Huntingburg yesterday, go look at a house down there, and I saw a sell it on truck down there. So maybe I'll get in on that too. Where do you give these cash rewards? And then you can all start posting where it is. Go over there and get your reward. February slow for everybody. Feel free to use my name at will. Well, yes. When I went to JBS orientation, they pushed the cameras only outward. Then when I started training, they were driver-facing. That's always the thing that I worry about at places, is that it can become a driver-facing camera also, especially if it has the lens already built into it. There's no reason later they can't, they get their foot in the door a little bit, it doesn't, the knife stabbing you doesn't hurt much if it doesn't go in quickly, right? It's a little bit at a time. I didn't know you could get a seatbelt ticket for not having the shoulder strap on. Yes, $50. You can. You must wear the seatbelt properly, or no, it's like not wearing a seatbelt. $50, no points though, right? So I wouldn't sweat it. Pay it, don't fight it. That kind of ticket, if there's no points or anything, don't fight it. James S., maybe with the deployment of 5G, we can just put these cameras all over and live stream to each other. Yeah, probably. I mean, it's in Indianapolis, and it's coming. They're just talking about 6G today. That's funny. They don't have purple trucks, but the owner-operators might have one. And I actually saw a white one again yesterday, which I think is pretty funny, on I-69. Here's the thing. The trucks that already have the cameras in them are keeping the cameras. That's true. So sweet. Beta, what's up? Checking in from McAllen. Oh, wait. How's it going down there? How's the crossing doing? Pretty good? The person doing the shooting was driving a Land Rover with a Utah license plate. Oh, very nice. The Queen's official SUV. I love it, right? The official SUV of the Queen of England. Very nice. I sent mine as well, but sent it once with my name and again with Irishman. Whoops. You get 4 socks. I did delivery before I entered the property. They made you remove the camera and the GPS from the window. What happens if I can't remove the camera installed by the company? Really? Hunsley. Well, there's nothing you can do about the camera from the company. I've never seen a place do that. I'm amazed that they would even look at that. What are you going into, like a nuclear power plant or something? And the camera from the company, you're not allowed to do that. You'd have to send a message to the company and say, this is what they want. What do you want me to do? Because I definitely want that in writing from the company. Generally, companies say if you cover it or obscure it in any way, you can be fired. So I want in writing from them what to do. But I guess you pop your camera off the window. I've never seen that. No one's ever said anything to me about having a dash cam on the windshield of the truck. With Old Dominion, you might do an overnight return and come back and yes, stay in a hotel. All right, James. So, all right. So it's over. They should put that, you don't come home every day. They just said extended periods of time, but they don't really explain what that is. So the daytime drivers, I guess P&D drivers are home daily, and line haul, you may be gone overnight. That's not, that wouldn't be for me. Oh, GP Transco's a new recruiter. Robin, she's learning, so be nice to her. Yeah, be nice to recruiters when you call, anywhere you call. Really. PTI is planning to replace regular cameras with a more sophisticated version. Link the OnGuard. Oh, that's what Maverick has, right? To the OnGuard system to make sure drivers keep their distance, make safe lane changes, and no U-turns. Yeah, this, because I saw it said Detroit Diesel on it in the video that I saw in one of them. It's all linked in with the system in the truck. That's correct, and that's getting more and more common. So it knows if you turn too much and keep your distance and all. And believe me, they'll talk to you. You're going to know about it because they'll talk to you about it. George Costanza, driver-facing cameras shouldn't watch you all the time. Critical event, sure, you can make that argument, but if they put in a driver-facing camera, I'm going to wearing only a loincloth. Wow. That would be, that's a picture for them to see. Guys and gals never hire on with a company to inward-facing camera. Too stressful. You're always worried about the camera. Always looking at you even when they say they don't, but you never know what they're seeing. Lytics says they record 100 hours and keep it. That's what they say. The last 100 hours of the camera they have. That's what Lytics says. No matter what a company says, Lytics itself on their website says we keep the last 100 hours so companies can go back and see if a delivery was made on time. That's what the camera company themselves says. Steelhorse says, haul food, it doesn't slow down. Steady work and steady income. Right. That's what I'm thinking too, right? Reefer, people got to eat year round. It doesn't matter. It's warm, cold, or whatever. And it doesn't even matter if people have a job. Food is always, stable because even if people aren't working, if everybody got food stamps, everybody still has to eat and food has to be moved around. So I always thought, especially over the road, long distance or whatever, reefer's the way to go. Impersonal think, hey, checking in from Florida, what's going on? You should look up the Detroit OnGuard Assistance version 5 for Freightliners. A whole bunch of new autonomous features to being introduced starting 2023. Where'd my pen go here? I will look that up. Right. OnGuard 5. All right. All right. Safe travels and things got to get loaded and get on with therapy. What did I see that? I didn't say therapy, did it? Okay. I got rolling. Okay, I maybe need therapy too. I'm hungry. I know it's a ways from the first roll stop. Get that roll runner. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Checking in from Stephen is Milpitas, California. Can't wait to get a load out of here. Yeah, get going out of there slowly, really. I got pulled over in Ohio. Trucker Bailey said, the cop said, you're speeding. I told him I will play back my video to prove otherwise. He said, well, I'll give you a ticket because you were not wearing a seatbelt. Okay. I'd probably take the seatbelt ticket. Do you dispatch owner a free load board? Seatbelt is a safety violation. It's a $750, but no points. No points. I have video profession of the seatbelt also. Sweet. And that's because you have an inward-facing camera that you own. There is a company in Oklahoma that they have really nice Peterbilts rolling on I-35. It's called Accord. Oh, run by Honda? I don't know. What did the cop say after you showed him that video, Trucker Beetle Bailey? At government installations, you have to cover cameras. I know DriveCam has a box to cover the camera that is a lock. You give a key to the guard. Really, James Collins? So what? But there's a lot of different systems. There's Lytix, Detroit, Garmin. There's all these different systems. Rand McNally has a camera. I mean, they're all different shaped. What do they do about that? CSX has a no camera policy, but do not enforce it. So theoretically, coming into the railroad, Wild Bill, I wouldn't be able to have my dash cam on that I run. So the guard is supposed to tell me to enforce that. What about the camera that's built into the trucks? If you saw the Maverick video, if not, everybody should go look at it. Some driver posted it. The camera is built into the truck. The Georgia Pacific in Oregon makes you put tape over your phone's camera. Kelly, really? I would send a message to the company just so we're clear about why I'm doing it. And every time they had that, do it, because I don't want to get fired for covering up the camera. I have a driver camera and hate it. Visor always down. Tyler, what do they say about that? Anything? Most of these companies that I've seen say, look, we'll fire you for that kind of stuff. Trucking Journeys got a seatbelt ticket in Smyrna, Delaware for not having a shoulder strap. They said it was improper use of a safety system. I didn't know it was $750 in some places. For $50, I'd just pay it and just take it as a learning lesson because nothing else happens with it. Everyone with a driver-facing camera should show the company the roller wiener. Yeah, go get your roller wiener and show it to them. So Saturday about 8 p.m., a car passed me, and about 200 yards past me, the driver fell asleep off the road and backwards and off the road. Sweet. Did you get it on the dash cam? Oh, good. You should post that somewhere. James asked, I'm getting married this month finally. Wow, on the 22nd. Sweet. Taking a week off after that. I can't wait to get away from the truck. Nice. But you should want to drive, right? But that's great. Why finally, too? It seems like, have you been together a long time? Yesterday was my anniversary, by the way, so how about that? 24 years. What's going on? I'm the guy who had to go to Western. All right. I have a video of my experience so far. All right. Love the channel. Thank you very much. Now, what do you think there? I mean, I think we know it's not great, but what they give you a chance. What do you think? Wearing the seatbelt without a shoulder belt makes it a bad injury as well. Exactly. You should wear your seatbelt. I've always wore one even before the law. I do think you should wear it. Put a driver-facing camera in my truck. They're going to learn a new meaning to roller wiener. All right. That's Milpitas. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know all the little towns in America. McDonald's at truck stop should offer wieners. That'd be great. How long are you staying at Welfare Express? Look, he had to go to Welfare Express, as they call it, right? Some people don't have a choice, and unfortunately have to send them there, or that's what I recommend anyway. They give you a chance, and you can get back out of there later. Freightliner trucks, they're cheap. That's why the big companies go for the cheap stuff. Mike, that is true. They usually get deals on them. They'll buy hundreds of them at a time. But, you can uprate the truck. You don't have to get the base truck, too. Like the Freightliner at Maverick, actually, that they showed, other than the camera, was super nice. It has heated and cooled seats in it. It looked all nice inside, because they showed it and all that. So, you can get a still nice truck there at Freightliner. Trucker Peter Bailey, he got to see both videos and let you go. But before, he wanted to do a level 1 and found nothing. So this guy's just out, I'm glad you got out of that one. You should have recorded that whole incident too. CSA tickets do have seatbelts have CSA points. They do. Really? All right. Well, I don't know how you fight it though. How do you say you had it on? Because it would be, driver said, police said. You say I had it on, but the officer's going to say no, you didn't. And so I don't know how you would fight it. It can't be too many points. I'm trying to think of a way to fight it. I don't see how you could fight it unless you had a video like Trucker Beetle Bailey. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to fight it. Josh, Maverick driver 2 years. All right. There's no Maverick here, I noticed yet. What I'm most upset about is the fact that Maverick didn't tell any of us they ordered the cameras and were dishonest. That's sweet. What do you mean by dishonest about the fact? By other than not telling you, which would be, I guess, a lie of omission. What do you mean by dishonest? I find an omission to be different than dishonestly. Like you ask about it and they go, no. Reserved to 100 I-80 in Laramie is closed due to winter weather. Closed from Laramie to Rawlins, 14 to 16 hours. All right, enjoy your break there. Irishman, the channel is called Soccer Soul 76. Okay, there you go. Right, and it's only a 3-minute video or whatever. Oh, wow, Bill, that's correct. No drive cam at CSX. Okay, so they don't enforce it. I would leave it until they said something, of course. I'm leaving it stuck on there. Mine just suction cups to the windshield. Haven't heard a word yet, but if I'll quit if they do say anything, okay. They might. Companies may, it may catch that kind of thing. My seatbelt ticket was $125. If there's points, though, it's a tough ticket to fight, even with points, unless you have a video. Nomad Trucker, I was offered a camera system for my truck. Do I have access to videos? No. Do you have access to the videos? Yes. Right. You don't have access to your own video. When it's their camera, they own the footage. That's another reason to have your own camera, even if they have a camera. You don't own the footage. They may or may not give you the footage. With the dash cam, you may or may not give them the footage. That's your footage. So absolutely, it's time for a cat. When is it not time for a cat? Certainly. This is what a cat looks like when they're on drive cam. They're on cat cam. That's what Gracie thinks about cameras. Holy mackerel. Gracie. She's sleeping. Is that cat alive? Yes. She's alive. James got engaged Christmas of 18. Wow. Over a year of engagement and planning. Just finally here. What? No. Time flies so fast. Pretty soon, it'll be 50 years. Don Pepe, good afternoon. I've seen 2 teal-colored GP Transco trucks, one on 76 and the other on 78. I didn't know they went on this side of the Mississippi River. This is the teal-colored truck. That I don't guarantee the color. Haven't seen one over here yet. I thought they were all west. All on the west side. The earth is flat. We know that. We can look outside. The critic in 24 years. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Did I get married when I was 8 years old? Yes. Being in my extreme upper 30s, I was married early, as you can imagine. Single digits. Old school Whitey, I think a CB is more of a safety tool than an inward-facing camera. That's exactly correct. That would be. So would heated wipers. How about that? Corgi, I'm going to stay at Western as long as I need to. I'm planning getting more experience, saving money, and take it from there. Good. As long as they're rolling, you're getting at least some money. And, you can take it there. You're back in the industry, so I'm happy for you. Musafar, nice. Happy anniversary to you and your wife. I'm getting married Saturday. Really? Everybody's getting married. Well, congratulations. We have a big wedding party. I had to rescue a load in Iowa a couple days ago. You lost 600 miles, but they gave you 250. All right, and promise you a new Freightliner when the new batches come in. But I say batches. We don't need no stinking batches. You've been married, Mark. You've been married longer than our front desk person has been alive. Oh, that's awesome to know. You're young, you don't think about that. But then somebody says they're 20 or something, you're thinking, crap, 22, 20. Because I'll say something about, remember in, Hill Street Blues. And I'm like, what? So that's when you know you cross that line. And you're like, holy mackerel. So once you're married longer than people are alive, that is something. Thank you, GP Transco. I appreciate it. Give credit to the wife that, for 20 years I was on the road. And give her credit for staying through that, right? I saw Woodstock yellow one at a Plaza rest stop. It's really a yellow GP Transco truck. That's pretty good. And probably an owner-operator. Roger Penske, happy anniversary. Stop by the IMS this Memorial Day. I'll resurrect Jim Neighbors. That would be great. That would be pretty awesome. That guy could really put it out there. Way to go from GP Trucking Journeys, over GP Transco. That's something. Josh, they preached to everyone in orientation they would never have driver-facing cameras. And here I am 2 years later and have one with no option when I'm given a new truck. That's correct. I would ask them, I thought you said we'll never have these. I mean, and I don't remember if Maverick is driver owned or not. So are they a driver owned company? But what would they say? Ask them, hey, this is not what you guys said. Michael Watts, what's up? Did Maverick respond? No. They have yet to email me, and they were invited here in the chat, which they may or may not be watching, but they're not here. I said, hey, just come on and let's talk about cameras. Since they're a great thing, I'm sure you'll want to promote how much of a safety thing they are. Nothing. Good afternoon. Let's see here. I just graduated from CDL school. Great. I want to go tanker. Awesome. Called Schneider, and they're offering you 44 cents. I got bills. Well, 44 cents starting on a tanker out of CDL school, I don't think that's super terrible right now. I mean, you could do maybe a little better. That's not terrible. If they'll train you on tankers, I'm not super bad on that. You got bills. You could, if they'll roll you some miles, you can be looking at 60 grand on that kind of money. Heated and chill seats are a big safety thing because if your bum is hot or cold, you're going to be uncomfortable wriggling in your seat and more opportunity. I know. So I saw that on there. I go, wow, they seats cooled and heated. So they like upgrade the truck there. So you don't have to have just a base, Freightliner, whatever, Cascadia. Like ours are basically fleet trucks that they don't upgrade at all, which is most companies. But I saw that and I go, oh, this truck's pretty nice inside. Trucker Hershey says 44 cents is good. Yeah, on a tanker especially, right? I don't see that as terrible. I think you'd have a tough time getting too much more to start on tanker. You maybe could, but I mean, that's not super horrible. James says, I've been married longer than I've been alive. Wonderful. I'm only 25. Well, I got 24. This is just 24. So at least you were one, almost two when I got married. And that day, I remember that day. It was 12 below zero right here in Lafayette, and it was super cold. And then yesterday, it was 66 degrees. So really something. Trucking journey, 44 cents, not bad for somebody who started. Believe me, you're not going to make a whole lot more. Right, as a new driver, especially in tanker. I don't think that's terrible, right? I'm planning on driving like how state troopers say they want me to. Of course, keep your record clean and some time at Western Corrigan, you'll be able to get into whatever company you want. Look like a company driver truck. I don't know. I thought, their Maverick truck with the seats and all that, it looked nicer than the average truck. If you can't start at 44 cents, you're in the wrong industry. That's not bad for tanker to start a tanker. You used to work for Maverick. Oh, well, you'd have a camera now. Does Western have cameras? Maverick is going to lose drivers. In fact, I don't think so. When companies do this, as the industry sees, drivers say they'll quit, and then they don't quit. So they'll lose a few percent, but like half of them will say they quit. It doesn't actually happen. Even for newbie with endorsements, where did that go off to, right? That's terrible. I don't think that's terrible. 44 is not terrible for a tanker. No, Mad Trucker, your first job was 25 cents a mile. My first job was $250 a week salary in Chicago, local. We need more Gracie facing cameras in this industry. That is true. And Bridget facing cameras as well. How about that? She would like the camera. She could just watch her all day. That'd be better than them watching you. Fleet nav system is back. Had to step away. Don't see any missing questions. Does anybody have questions for fleet nav systems, like an ELD question, geotab question? Be sure to put an @ in front of that. And for fleet nav systems, they're here to answer questions. They have a great YouTube channel. It's very informative. Maverick is not employee owned. Okay, I couldn't remember. The fact is they pay well. They do. So I may have to deal with it until I'm not treated like a professional. I agree. Once you're there, quitting is one thing. Coming on is another thing. They do pay good. There's no question about that. And so they're counting on that for people to stay, and they probably will. The pay is pretty good. If they start hammering people about every little thing, then the drivers there should really get together and say, hey, lay off of this stupid stuff that you're doing. Now it's going to depend on how they treat you. I just don't think that it's a professional thing to do, especially if they're going to lie about it. I mean, they should be upfront about it. It's such a great deal. At least be honest. They want that from you. George Wilson is running late. Just cracked open an icy cold Mountain Dew. All right. It's warm enough for that today. Maverick is owned by Schneider. I don't know about that. Where's our Schneider Maverick driver? Is that true? 2.5 years ago, I started in England, and I was making 14 cents a mile as a team, but that's like 28 cents. Your pay is not based on what endorsements or certificates you have. Other than like hazmat, most places pay a little extra for that. Alexander, I run my AC in single digit. Whether a cooled seat would be nice. Yeah, I don't have a cooled seat in my car or anything, but it seemed like, wow, this is pretty great. 44 cents a mile is double what Western Express makes it. Some of their drivers are close to half that, exactly. So I don't think 44 cents is horrible. 44 cents is not bad. You get more experience after you can always move on. Got a seatbelt ticket in Gardner, New York on private property. Cost you $400 to fight it. They shouldn't be able to issue a ticket on private property. I mean, that's the idea, is private property. Paying trucking, especially over the road, is based on experience, and somebody with no experience, you're much more likely to be in 2 accidents and bent fairings. Well, there's a lot of trucking companies that don't have any fairings left. On private property, I'd fight it. Yeah, right. What the heck? I only do 31 cents and make 55,000. You can do fine if you get high miles. That's right, James S. Yeah, 31 is really low. You should look around. I will say that if you've got a year of experience, I mean, that's low. That's low. A lot of higher paying companies will not hire somebody with less than a year experience. After you have a year, you can start earning more. That's exactly correct. Western has forward-facing cameras. Oh, okay. Western Express drivers would steal them and sell them on eBay. All right, so forward's good deal, right? 8/14 is National Truckers Day. Good. And what is, let's see, the Roadcheck is May 5 to 7 this year, and they're looking at driver qualifications on May 5th through the 7th, and that's going to be your license, your medical card, glasses, and then make sure you're wearing them, all that kind of stuff. That's what they're looking for this year. Kim English, my first driving job in 1985, you got 9 cents a mile. Wow. Wow, I don't ever remember making less than about 23 cents a mile in maybe the late 80s. That's the lowest I can remember making, 9 cents. This would have been like 89, 90s, right in there. GP Transco, we know some of our drivers who do not get a performance bonus of 6 cents because they were late or unsafe, claiming the company is stealing the money. Yeah. Once you promise somebody a money, they assume that they'll get it every week. So they just think, oh, I'm going to get this every week, no matter what I do. So that's just a thing with people. Like, you can earn this extra, and most people will be like, oh, okay, I'm going to get paid that money. So I think that's a societal problem. Vermin, I drive for lesser, so I don't hear from them that much. Great pay, equipment, and staff, highly recommended. All right, there's a place, Lesser's, which we don't hear about much. It's not a super big place, though. Maverick is not owned by Schneider. I didn't think so, but I thought we've got a Maverick driver on here. We'll see, but I didn't think so. Irishman, it's time to get ready for work. Stay safe, have a nice day, and make sure your roller wieners are on your DFC. Exactly. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. If you're entitled and expect certain things from a company, they're not going to hire you. The company pays you what they pay you. If you don't like what they offer you, look somewhere else. I totally agree, right? If you're not getting what you want, that is your solution. I don't like when people complain they have next to no experience. I left Maverick because flatbed wasn't for you. It's work. Let's be honest. If they kept their temp control division, I would definitely still be there. That's where I sent a few people there, and then they gave it up. Ugh. Or at least recommended the place, not like go there immediately. Late delivery, was there enough time? And we had traffic, so it was late. Can you guys show with your trucking data the clear stats of why someone didn't get a bonus? Could it help if it was possible to make it more transparent? Maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe during the week it can be, hey, because of this or whatever, you're having a problem. As long as you don't include the safety bonus in the cents per mile quote, like it says, I would consider it stealing. Yeah, I will say this, that they're like, this is what the mileage and this is the bonus. They're separate, and they're separate on their site too. So they are clear about that part of it. Maverick bought with Snyder Glass Division. That's how we got into the glass. Oh, okay. That's why. Show them the video of the unsafe behavior or review the logs for excessive brakes. Data is everything. Some people won't even be convinced of data, though. That, like, some people still say the earth is round. You can't convince them. You can't convince them even with data. Trucking journeys for it truly to be a bonus. It has to be a bonus and not counted as part of the theoretical mileage. We share a checklist with the driver. Okay, I-55 outbound, First Avenue tanker spill in Lyons. That's awesome. How many drivers actually get the bonus? That's a good question. Maverick, 21 trucks in the video, driver-facing cameras are all company trucks. Yes. And I can't believe they have 2021s. Who's got a 2021 already? It just turned 2020 like a few days ago. CSX issues tickets to drivers with no seatbelt or safety vest. CSX who? The CSX police? What do you do with that ticket? What if you don't pay it? They can't put it on your record. It's private property. So I can literally police my own property. Somebody comes on my property, like they go pull my driveway, no seatbelt. Here's a ticket. Where does that go? So that's a good question. What can a railroad police ticket do? Or are they some kind of sworn officers? James Cullen, I said the same thing in reference to the seatbelt ticket. I did fight it, drove 7 hours back to New York Judge. How do they rule in their favor when you're on private property? It's a manually created checklist. All right, so there we go with that. Got 1 year experience at Keenan Advantage will hire you 51 cents. Okay, well, there you go. So you could get 44 cents for a year and then bump yourself 7 cents a mile right there, $7,000 to $10,000 raise right there. And I know here Liquid Transport is here in Lafayette. I drive by there every day. So they have a sign out all the time, home daily tanker driver. So there's that as well coming up if you want to do that. Sometimes that's one of those signs with the arrows, like they bought it from a store that closed down too, because it's got the arrow that blinks or whatever. So it's like, this is where free, burritos are. But then they bought it and they're like, we'll just put our own sign on it. Sometimes you have to remind drivers they're not in charge and they're employees. That's true. It's Hot Wing Monday, Alexandra. Yeah, it's. I don't have a picture of hot wings, and that not a big wing person. Maybe boneless ones only. Wiener's better. So many drivers come to us having been lied by carrier and carrier. That's true, which creates a negative outlook in the industry. And it's your job to overcome it. And that's hard to overcome. Once you're lied to for years and years by other companies, it's tough. And I don't know if you remember the ATA, GP Transco or not, but somebody like the ATA, a member company should go in there and say, hey, why don't we have our companies here not lie to drivers? That's the kind of thing that they should put out, that kind of thing. I know it could make more easily double. I'm just past 2 years solo, 2.5 years since you began training. Okay, I'm just saying, Jane, look, if you like the job or whatever, I say that's worth more than money. Going to a place you don't like. If you have a good gig kind of thing going, like this is a great deal for me and what I'm doing, the money, that's well worth it more than the money. You can go make money anywhere. But finding the time that you want, that's hard to do in a place that you like. So if you like it there or whatever, that's okay. I'm just saying that's low. 31's like really, really low. So you got to really have something other compelling to keep you there, and there might be that for you. If not, then there is a lot more money somewhere else. Imagine this, Clay. I kept wondering why my company asked me to call when I arrived at the shipper. It was 30 minutes earlier than my appointment. After hours of sitting at a shipper to get unloaded, you called and inevitable. They told me the top miles is 2,200, but there's no minimum. And for him to admit the company get my detention pay, I flipped out and then looking for a better company. See, that's the kind of thing that's ridiculous. They should just pay you. You shouldn't have to go through all these hoops to get money. That's why I think hourly plus overtime is the best way to get paid. You wouldn't have this problem because you'd get paid. There wouldn't be any issue of you getting paid. They can track the truck. They know where you are. My shortest haul for the company is 3,000 miles. That's what I like. So that kind of thing would be up my alley. These huge, long coast-to-coast hauls. Lester's has treated you great. All right, that's good to know because, people should say, hey, this is a great place to work. People are always looking for that. I explained to him that stealing my money and refused to agree, but told me that's no different than a server giving out all their tips to the boss. She had no response. Right, the server shouldn't have to do that. I don't like that either. They shouldn't pool their tips. There shouldn't be tips, okay, but they shouldn't pool their tips, and they shouldn't have to give them to the boss. The only reason there's tipping is because in America we allow companies to not pay their people properly. I shouldn't have to pay the waitress. The company pays the waitress, okay? The company, and there's been a ton of studies done on this. It doesn't change the service that you get. The tip that you leave or are going to leave, the potential for a tip, doesn't change the service. When they put some servers on salary and some tipped, the service stays the same. So I don't like it. It just lets companies get out of actually paying their employees and transferring that to you instead of having them pay their employees what they should pay them. CSX has their own police. I know. So what? I get a CSX ticket. So what? I go, so what am I supposed to do with this? Railroad police are federal. I get a federal driving ticket. Railroads are legally allowed to have their own police force by law, and they're enforceable. Enforceable by who? So they enforce it to what? They can put that on your driver's license? It's not public property. CSX is privately owned. Eric, would GP Transco hire a 19-year-old? Well, let's see the answer to that. I don't know for a fact, but believe they only order so many units per year, so they're considering 21s the next year, which are actually 20 model Cascadias. Oh, I see, because the one in the video, Josh, is a 2021. They say it, and they show 21 on the truck. He shows a couple 20s and then a 21. And if anybody watched that video, the only useful thing on that truck that I saw, besides the great seats, is these wind deflectors by the mirrors, because anybody that has a Cascadia knows any kind of water, you can't see out of your mirrors. Freightliner didn't think of that. There's a wind deflector on the new truck to deflect air around the side so it doesn't go on the mirrors. Great idea. I saw that. I go, oh, brilliant. About time. I wish they would retrofit the old trucks, but my company would be like, oh, well, that's going to cost money. We're not doing that. So, but it looks like a great idea. Some CSX terminals are run by the Port Authority, but what do I do with this ticket that this guy wrote out in a crayon to me? $3,000 a week, that's heaven. Does your company take rookies? Yeah, they do. Can we go over the whole Roadrunner thing again? Yeah, Roadrunner. They sold another division, their Prime Distribution Services division, for $225 million. And that is not related to Prime Inc., which delivers packages to your house, or to Prime Next Day, which is, of course, a refrigerated division. It's not related to that. So they sold another division off, and their stock in 2015 is $707. 1 year ago, it's $13.62. And today, as of before the show, it's $9.25. And they've sold stuff off constantly selling stuff off. So what do you take from that? Well, what I take from it, it would be myself to somewhere else. But that's just me. That's just me. Could they stay open? They could. They might stay open. Long haul's usually reefer, no thanks. Yeah, on the road, that's the way to do it. Corgi, I used to be a server and remember making $300 and walking out with like $80. Where'd the rest of the money go? That's the issue for me. I'm small. I'm not just a number. They know my name. I'm fairly certain the two owners have my phone number memorized. If that's, see, for me, I don't like that. That's, so you and I are different in that I don't need them to know my name. I don't care. I just work there. So if they know me or not, I don't care. But if that's something you like, and it's a trade-off for the money, then it'd be worth staying rather than going somewhere else. Tipping started with, so restaurants could charge a lower menu price. Cash is king. Right. You subsidize the restaurant of what it should be paying its employees. I totally agree. There shouldn't be any of that. Most of the world doesn't tip. Okay, only here, because we allow people to get paid virtually nothing and then expect the customers to pay the employees rather than the business owner who is the one running the business. Time's up. Time to cook lunch. We're listed from the Blue Parrot headset. I appreciate it. Trucker Beetle Bailey at Tac Trucking, who did not make the top 20. All right. If you wear it, make it a parrot. Thanks for being here. I freaking love going everywhere but the Northeast. Now I run local. Boring, but pays better. It does by the hour. Certainly pays more an hour. James Rowland at KLR Transportation. Shorts hauls $3,000. I assume that's out and back unless you're running US 20. Well, no. I mean, I had, sorry, Mark, to call BS on the cat. What the heck? Look, I've had a 3,100 and some mile run. I remember that. And that went from out in San Jose at Ghirardelli Chocolates. And that load went, I had 2 stops. It was like Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And it went way up to northern New York State. And the whole thing was like 3,100 some miles. So it's possible to get those kind of loads. There was another load that I didn't take too. Where'd that go? It was a circle. It was a big circle. But it was like 4,300 miles. It went, I don't remember. Boy, it's so long ago. This is what happens when you get in your 30s. You don't remember this stuff. It seems like I started out in like Columbus, Ohio. It went to North Dakota and then New Mexico and somewhere in Texas and then back. And it was a huge circle. For some reason, I didn't get it. But I remember that was 4,000 or 5,000. They're like, oh, this will be 2 weeks or something. So there are those loads around. This has been a while. Railroad police can write you a ticket, take you to court, and arrest you. Railroad police are the exact same in every aspect as regular police. So this ticket is going to go on somebody's license from this, what's it say, CSX ticket? All I know is hot wings and coffee is a really bad combination. Alexandra, yikes, in and out. You're not gonna want that either way. I shouldn't say that. That's gross. But it doesn't sound great. The only difference between being that they are employed by the railroad company and not the state. They're still sworn officers. All right, so I can't write somebody a ticket on my property, on my private property. R&L Carriers makes drivers buy pallet jacks. Look it up, and lossless companies can. Depends on the state, which I've looked up many state laws because people have problems in different states. Some states require the employer to provide all equipment that is necessary to do the job, and some don't say anything. So it depends on what state it is. And I'd have to look. Each state has its own employment laws. Like some states can withhold some of the stuff that trucking companies do, and some states can't. It just depends. That's why a lot of them locate in a certain state. Out and back, reset at home. Yeah, so you got a pretty good deal there. It just doesn't pay a lot. On a call now, Interride is giving up the Ghost. Not sure what it means for the Cold Care brand. Locally, likely it's going as well. Interride. Really? And Cold Carriers is out? Jeremiah, you and Smart Trucking are best trucking channels on YouTube. Thank you. If I'm in, mentioned with Dave over there, I appreciate that, because that is a good channel, which I watch as well. The 21 is just a unit number or truck number. If they check the decal on the door, it's almost always a 20. Oh, well, I'm suggesting from the video, he showed like a number, which is a 5-digit, and start with 20, the next one 20, and then he showed this one and went in really close, 21, for the first 2 digits, kind of indicating like the year. I don't know how they number, but that's the way the video made it feel like, oh, this is a 2021. And then the thing that they sent out to drivers, which I'm sure you got, says in our new 2021 models we'll have this camera, and the old trucks won't get it. I don't know. It just was indicated like that. I was surprised that they could get a 2021 already. We just got a 2020 in. Every time you drive on the public road and cross a railroad crossing, you're actually trespassing on railroad property. Don't they allow you to at least cross like right there? Are one of these CSX police going to write me up then for that kind of thing? I didn't have an idea. The rest of the money went to the bartenders at service. They had a high deduction on bar sales. I don't like it. If that's your tip, it's your tip. Your tip. That you don't spread that around. No way. Okay, trucking journeys. Did we go over the top 20 trucking companies? You want to hear it? Here they are. The best fleets to drive for. This was listed here. Okay, I wrote them all down. Ready? ACT, Bison, American Service Line, and some of these I've never heard of. Okay, Boyle, Central Oregon Truck, which I love, right? Challenger, Fortigo, which I don't know what that is. FCC, okay? FTC Transportation, FTC, right? Garner, Grand Island, Halvor Lines, Load One, Prime, Prime Inc., yep. Newsbaum, Thomas Keller, TLD Logistics, which I've sent people there, Transpro, and Wellington. So that's the top 20 best fleets to drive for, so they say. You may drive there, and if you are at one of those places, do you agree? Hey, Mark, how's the weather in Indy today? Super nice. It's going to be 60 in Indy today and windy. And yesterday, I drove to Huntingburg from Lafayette and back in the Escape, put that out on the road, and it was 66 down there. So pretty nice. And still squeezed out 28.1 miles to the gallon. Very impressive because it's rated 2127. Super happy about it. Went from Massachusetts to Compton. I will never go back to Compton. Alexandria, yikes. Between West Memphis and Compton, I got to keep an eye on you where you're going. Maverick is not doing it better anymore. Yeah, they're not on the top 20 list, and I wish they would at least respond to a question about their cameras. I tip when the service is worth it. Bad service gets nothing. Great service it gets 100, and if I 100% tip, and if I go to a restaurant where gratuity is included, I only tip if the service is good or if she's hot. Sweet. And they actually talked about that, which I didn't mention, right? That depending on how the waitress looked, depending on how the tip went, regardless of service. So meaning tipping doesn't mean anything. It isn't a proof of anything. And, and your tip doesn't change the service because the tip's at the end anyway. It's not like you tip in advance. I'm going to tip this much if I get good service. No. And it did matter on the relative good looks of the server. 4,100 miles in a circle every 7 to 10 days, John Schneider. That'd be pretty good, even in a Dodge Charger. James Rolling, you couldn't force me to back into long haul or truckload freight. LTL's where it's at, whether you're a company owner or op. That's the only place the real money. It's the money and the time. Most people that I see that go to local, like me and a lot of people, right, they don't go back on the road usually. Because once you're local, you realize, oh, okay, I make the same money and don't hardly have to work nearly as much. So over time, most people transition back to local jobs, I think. Because per hour, there's no comparison, really. Because most of your time spent at home. Thursday, I had 17 hours off. We put in 6 hours, 23 minutes. So Fort Smith to San Jose to Los Angeles to Lufkin, Texas to Fort Smith. That's pretty good. Mark, I appreciate your help on what you do for the community. Would you recommend any over-the-road tanker companies for rookies? Who's got a tanker out of the Northeast? Wow, that's a tough one. So we'll see somebody in here. probably knows something about the specific Northeast tankers. I don't think CCC, which is my usual tanker place to recommend, is out of there. I don't know. Schneider might hire you out of there for tankers. That's funny. There's just not a lot of tanking up there. What about local tanker up there? That's funny. I just took a load from Hollywood Hills, Florida to Milpitas. How about that? But I had a nice and easy 5 days to make it. Amazon loads are paying well. That's funny. I just watched somebody else talk about an Amazon load, Geeks Trucking, as a matter of fact, and he said it paid horrible, the load he had. So I don't know, maybe they pay a different amount. How about any other owner-operators? What is Amazon? Is it paying any money right now on these loads? I heard they don't pay much, but we'll see. I'm behind here, but a circle is out and back, right? What do you think about dump trucks? Everyone hates those windshield busters. Don't drive close to them. They have a sign on there which means nothing, but it's hard to prove that it came from them without a dash cam in your car. Okay, run a dash cam in your car. Al John's railroad police are glorified security guards. I got kicked out of a yard for a week for parking a trailer wrong. Really? Holy mackerel. Is it legal for CFI to charge me a fee to process the per diem payment? Yeah. Usually it is at these states. It doesn't say anything like that. I don't like it. It's usually between a half a cent and a penny and a half. I don't like you paying it. They shouldn't pay it. Most places that do it have a charge, maybe 80-20. Some don't. And generally it's legal to do it, unfortunately. Because they call it an administrative fee that you're paying. They're paying you the full amount that's how they get away with it. Because otherwise it would be your wages they're taking, which they're not allowed to take your wages unless it's a fee that you authorize. So what they call that is some kind of administrative fee of 1 cent or 1.5 cents. And so then they're saying we pay him the whole amount and he pays us this amount to administrate this per diem. Usually it's legal. Soccer Solo is one of the 40 that got selected at Maverick to put solar panel on the roof. Really? Had it for a few days, and we're trying to see if that keeps you from idling on your 34-hour reset. So do you have the electric-powered APUs, then the EPUs? And how much could a single solar panel generate in electricity? Not a ton. That's correct. First two digits are considered the model year. Oh, the one they show is 21. Then the video. Maybe it's just one truck that they're showing, but it's one of their 21s. It might be legal, but isn't right. That I certainly agree with. But companies don't always do what's right. They only do what they have to do legally. You also disclose that you're not a lawyer, and yet I still consult your channel, look for guidance to keep it up. I appreciate that. Remember, I'm not a lawyer, but I do appreciate it. I have 16 by 243. How much power is that producing in watts a day? They only have a few 21s right now for testing for the new camera. That's what I figured. But the one in the video, and do all the trucks get a cooled seat? I think that's cool. Texas Trader says Prime. Yes, Prime is in the top, and they've been in for years, by the way. One of the best companies to drive for, so I don't know what to say about that. How much they pay to get on the list? Yeah, who did they bring stuff to? Did they bring one of their flower deliveries to somebody? What is it? Good for drivers a year. How much do you want to make, and where do you want to be? I'm not into the money as much as a better job that you'd like to do. Wonder how much crime had to pay their employees to get numbers on that list of top companies. I bet every company, they only have to be nominated by one driver. So I bet every company gets a nomination from somebody, no matter what the company is. Celadon probably got nominated after they closed. ACT, that's AAA Cooper or ACT. ACT is on the list. ACT first on the list. Most trucks are dated a year ahead. You got your 2020 in March of 19. Wow. Registration states it's a 20. Nice. How much is Prime to pay to be on there? I agree. Love a camera with an arm's reach facing me. Truck which slams on the brakes at an overpass. Touching freight assigned fuel stops, confused dispatchers. Right. I agree. It's a mess. Was my company mentioned in the top 20 list? Maybe, and maybe not. So I'm not sure. Alexander, it was 84 yesterday. I'm in central Dallas today. In the hood as usual. I know, you're always like in the worst neighborhoods. They're like, let's give Alexander this horrible neighborhood, and it's just crazy. But look, it was 66 in southern Indiana today, or yesterday. Might be a good idea to update your Maverick video and the fact that they have driver-facing cameras. Yeah, I'm going to do a video about that. I mean, they're pretty proud of it, so I want that information to get out there. I mean, they're really proud of that. They paid only $350. Who do you work for? Trucker Hershey says, well, and I looked at the clock again. I guess it's a force of habit. For new people, I don't ever say who I work for. Keeps them out of your videos, and then they don't have anything to say about your videos, which I recommend for people. And I don't recruit for them either. Every driver, oh, by the way, don't forget to use my name in the recruiting. I've been here for 6 days. It's the greatest company ever. I know everything about it. That's because they get a recruiting bonus, $500, $1,000 or whatever. There are drivers on YouTube that they make that a living just recruiting other drivers. So I don't do any of that. And I don't take any money from any trucking company, by the way, for any reason. No monies. So that keeps everything, I think that keeps everything clean. That's how I do it. Okie Trucker's been building a fence. What? Okay. Linden Tanker out of New Jersey. All right, so there's a tanker. Oh, Wild Bill wants a teal-colored spotter truck at GP Transco. That's nice. Compton looked like a suicidal tendencies video. I know. I mean, holy moly. I leave a minimum of $5, but I go to the same Waffle House, IHOP, at Chinese restaurant when I lived in Vegas. Roger Penske. I know, but the problem with tipping, I see why we tip. It's just so the employer doesn't have to pay their employee anything. There's like a $2 minimum wage on tips. It's crazy. That's so the employer says, hey, why don't you pay my employees that work for me? That's the only reason we tip here. And most of the world doesn't tip. It's a crazy way to do it. And every study shows it doesn't have any effect on service in any way. People should just be paid properly by their employer, not by me. The employer charges whatever they want to for their product to pay their employees a good fair wage. Amazon is the only reason Roadrunner's still open. How nice. Not anymore. When I go to any casino buffet, I give the drink server a 5 when they seat me and let me know that I lived in Las Vegas and know what to put up with. Okay. They don't you get free drinks? Maybe not the buffet. CFA charges $14.90 per week. Oh, nice. So, but see, again, Brian, they're saying, okay, this is a charge. This is a fee. They're not withholding your check. They're saying we're paying you the full amount, and for this service we're providing you, we'll charge you $14.90 or whatever a week. Yeah, and you agree to it, certainly, right? I'm sure you signed something, even maybe when you started, that agrees to it, and so they can withhold that money. You should put on the website about paying address to address. That's a huge deal. I never thought about that. Compton is a garbage heap of a city, that's for sure. They should mow the city down and try again. Let's just start over, Alexandra Wright. Be safer. Why is truck stops food so hard on the stomach, Kitty? I'm not sure about that. You have to just build up your stomach tolerances. I recommend starting with 2 roller wieners a day for a week and call me. Don't mess with the Pinkertons. They'll string you up. This Amazon load paid $4 a mile. Wow. Finding the right broker is key. Most of them are dirt bags. All right. Well, I know that he was saying that he had some kind of Amazon load that hardly paid anything. He was kind of upset about it. Steel Horse, call the state labor board and they can answer all your questions about what they can and can't deduct out of pay. That's a very good way. Call the state labor board of the state of the company to see exactly what they can take out. If they can't, then file a claim and get your money back. If anyone has watched the movie Reservoir Dogs, tipping was discussed in the opening scene. Oh, really? I'll have to check that out. Any thoughts on A. Dewey Pile? There have been a couple drivers here from A. Dewey Pile, so what about that? We have the EPU. Okay, really? What is this trying to do? Is to prolong the battery life? Exactly. Where it might last another year and a half or 2 years longer, saving 300 times 1,600 trucks. And also, maybe you wouldn't have to run it at all if it could put some juice back in. But I don't think the solar panel, if you're using it, during like over your 34-hour break. So during the day when it's producing electricity, I don't think it produces enough to charge the batteries beyond what's being used, especially on an air conditioner. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know how it works. I'm curious. Alexander, maybe they're going to see if I'll break out my throwing knives. Yes, the only driver with throwing knives. You may have them handy out there, believe me. Trucking Journeys, you do the same crap to the truck model years that they do their cars. They sell 2020s and 19 and so forth. Yes. In the middle of the year, you already get the next year's car. I don't understand it. It seems like the big 3 do that more than the foreign makes. They're a little bit later on their models, but I agree. The 2020 should come out in 2020. Texas Trader, I looked up the 20 fleet article. It also notes that the Truckload Carriers Association has their conference at the Wynn in Vegas. Oh, that's sweet. Probably in the winter time too, right? Of course, come to Vegas in the winter and have our conference. So it's the TCA. All right, so any company that's a member of that, what about one of the things? Hey, let's actually do some safe things. Well, Bill, maybe, maybe not. Exactly. That's exactly correct. They do it earlier on trucks. New year model ships in March. New cars in September, October. Crazy. Thanks, Wild Bill. I appreciate that. Alexander thought you were going to get robbed. Wish you could carry your 9mm. Those knives better because, no cops are going to, you just go grab that out and leave. Also, nobody's going to think throwing knife. The solar panel is good for you when you go home. You don't have to unplug your refrigerator or take your food out. It should run that. Turn off your EPU. You can leave everything on. That would be better. But I don't think it'll help for a 34-hour break because how long do the batteries last otherwise? How long are they trying to extend the batteries from? In Minnesota, minimum wage is minimum wage, even if waitresses and waiters get the full minimum wage. Yes. They have to be paid the difference in minimum wage. I told GP Transco that you guaranteed I would get one. Yes. Some people have said that I guarantee a teal-colored truck at GP Transco, and that isn't always the case. You may or may not get a teal-colored truck at GP Transco. Fleet Nav Systems is here, too, if you have any ELD, E-log questions, Geotab questions, that kind of thing. They're the experts on it. I'm with a company that has cameras in the truck, Joshua. They say it's only supposed to record for 10 seconds. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. It records 10 seconds. In case a crash happens, but when I looked up, it records 24/7. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? The camera manufacturer, they say they record 24/7. At least Lytix does. Lytix says they record the last 100 hours they have available for companies to view. Well, how could that be if it only records 15 seconds at a time? That's right at Lytix. So if it only records 12 seconds, how do they have 100 hours? Oh, because it records all the time. That's how. James S. Welfare is the same. Government subsidizes low wages, then people complain about wealth inequity. That's true, right? They subsidize a low wage. I agree with you. That's exactly correct. They shouldn't have it, and the wages would have to go up. And here, tipping is us subsidizing low wages, which is almost worse. You'll look into Linden. Yeah, that's a good idea then. Any thoughts on Frame Miller? Who's here from Frame Miller? See if I have a Frame Miller person on here. Website says one dispatcher to 0.9 drivers. All right, well, that's pretty good. What's up, Mark? I saw a teal GP Transco truck in Columbus, Ohio. Asked driver how he liked the company. He put his 2-week notice because he's taking state tax out of his check. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about state tax. Does Utah not have a state tax? And do they take only Illinois tax and you could file back? There's that possibility. Does your company allow you to take Gracie with you once in a while? No. No pets. And she doesn't travel well. I don't know how that would work. I don't know how that would work in a truck. Maybe she would get used to it. So, nope, Gracie doesn't go with me. She stays and guards the house. Al Johns used to drive for Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe trucking out of Omaha. Oh, I love those three. Those are the official lawyers of Car Talk. What is the Swift lawsuit about? Coleman. All right, so Swift Transportation last year finally resolved a lawsuit about interstate equipment leasing. This is the company that people leased a truck from and then leased it on to Swift, to Swift Leasing. Okay. And this goes back to the 90s, right, or 2000. It goes back many, many years. If you lease a truck from Interstate Equipment Leasing, you're part of this lawsuit settlement. And the settlement had to be approved by the court. It was on January 20th, which I just saw. That means $100 million is being split up between everybody that leased a truck. And the longer you leased it, the more money you're getting. And that money will be sent out in early spring. Early spring. So the settlement had to be approved by the court. Like they agreed to it and submitted it, and the court had to approve the settlement. They did, in full. No changes. So the money that you will be getting is in early spring if you leased a truck from Interstate Equipment Leasing through Swift. I got a 6.5 amp battery maintainer that I hook up to your truck when you're home. That's enough to keep the truck charged in that, but that's not going to run your AC like the solar panel is not going to be enough. Who will hire a person with a cell phone ticket? I think one cell phone ticket is not going to be terrible, right? You can always get a cell phone holder from CFI. They do the best cell phone holders. Roger Penske, attorneys at law at Horowitz, Feinberg, Horowitz, Darita, Horowitz, and Besser. Wow. That's a good one. Hey, GP Transco, you guys offer leather seats? Oh, I don't know if I'd want that. Maybe. I have it in the car, so. That's when they have lytics. Okay, Joshua, yeah, lytics says right on their site, as you see, they record and store 100 hours, the last 100 hours. So it has to record all the time for them to do that. Even though companies that have lytics say, oh, no, it doesn't record, it has to record. Tips don't factor in the minimum wage in Minnesota. Waiters and waitresses get $9.75 an hour plus tips. Right, but what I'm saying for tips is there shouldn't be tips. The employer ought to pay him a wage. That's a decent wage. We're subsidizing the employer. You're subsidizing his business. That's not right. His business is to sell you food, and he has employees. So I don't like tipping at all. I don't like it. I think it should end. Top Gun Maverick is becoming a joke. I've been here 7 years. They lost the family atmosphere where the office workers called drivers by their name. It's turning into, with this cameras and stuff, it's turning into a corporation. And I wrote them and asked them about their cameras. No response. Asked them to come on the show. They're not here. So they don't want to put this stuff out there. Hello, Mark. Just about to do your driving test for a local gig that pays more than running tanker in the U.S. Yes, hopefully I'll have a normal life. Canadian tanker yanker. Great. I hope you get it. And you could transition into a life that, like where it's a job. And this is what the cat thinks about that. About having a life. She's not impressed with that. So life versus job, that's interesting because I want to talk about that. So there's a there's a company driver of the year finalist. He's been driving 23 years and has 3.5 million miles in 23 years. It doesn't say where he drives. Okay, so, and I looked that up. That's a little over 3,000 miles a week, 52 weeks a year. That's a lot. No time off. So not like the 50 weeks a year. Not like and he says, which I love, trucking is not like the old days. And I guess he means the late 90s. Okay. He goes, new people think it's a job. He goes, it's not a job. It's a lifestyle. And I take the other view of it. I think it's a job. I think the problem is people think it's some kind of lifestyle instead of it being a job. You work for somebody to make the money. It's a job, just like any other job. It isn't a lifestyle. And I think he's wrong. And I don't know about this driver of the year thing. He might be great and all that. But that kind of thing, or the old days, which was the 90s to him, right? So I think he's not right. I don't think it's a lifestyle. I find it to be a job. GP Transco Metatruck 189 in Carroll Stream. Nice. What color was it? Utah does. Okay, they have a 4.95% flat rate. Should be able to claim the Utah tax in Illinois if your Illinois rate is higher. Yeah, if they're taking out a state that you don't live in, all you'd have to do is file and say, I don't live there, and then filing your own state. So I don't know how that's going. Some people, he may not understand the tax thing. I got to believe a company is taking out the correct tax because that's a big IRS problem. So that's what I would think about that. If it's taken out of a different state, you can get it back. That's easy. Michael, I want a cooled seat, easier on the boys. That would be nice. That's the first truck I've ever seen, other than like owner-operators, that had a cooled seat in it for a company truck. So I got to give them that. That's pretty good. Too bad it has a camera in there. Al Johns, you're sleepy. Thanks again and good night. Yeah, get some snooze time. Always be safe. Get enough sleep. That goes basically without saying, even though I just said it. Don't drive tired. Cameras record constantly, but earmark certain events like hard brakes or speeding in critical events. James, yes, but the problem is the company says, hey, they only record when an event goes off. They don't say it records all the time and marks it. That's different. They don't say that. When you ask them, they go, no, it doesn't record all the time. But then you go to the camera company and it says they record all the time. So there you go. And I've asked companies and they go, well, we don't know why it says that on there. Right. Mike, Central Transport in Oregon, they're just like Maverick. Really? They're one of the best companies I've seen. Why do you think they're like Maverick? 2,000. You can get $2,000 a week there. My job in high school as a service porter at a Ford dealership paid $44 a week than my first tractor trailer job. That's not great. That isn't great. You're at the wrong job. I overheard a SOAR driver. Wow, I haven't heard of them in a while. Saying they had a 1-to-1 ratio in dispatchers. Wow, he may have understood that. Yeah, they've got like this huge room full of dispatchers, and the guy just, while you're on a load for like 3 days, he just sits there. Well, I don't know. He's not going to deliver till Thursday. You only legally pay state tax in your home state of residence. Doesn't matter where your company is based. Correct. But that's what I'm saying is that if he lives in Utah and for some reason the company's taking out tax from another state, he gets all that. He gets a credit, all that back. Right? He gets that back because you don't pay tax on a different state's tax. But then he has to file and pay his own state's tax. Absolutely. $9.75 plus tips is more than England. That's true. Maybe we should tip England drivers. Although I don't know what for. Taco Bell serves you food and you don't tip them. That's correct, George Wilson. That's correct. No one expects to tip a server at a fast food restaurant. Noob, hello, and Tennessee heading to Indy. All right, I'll be through there later today. In North Carolina, it's 77. Look, it's 57 here. Yeah, you do not have GP Transco does not have leather seats at this time. We're going to, but a lot pushback from the drivers about it a couple years ago. Really, I wonder why that is. There's a local, because I have them in a car and I like them. So I was sitting in one all day yesterday, no problem. So I wonder why drivers wouldn't like them. There's a local hazmat tinker job paying right at 6 digits. Whew, wow. But experience and a perfect driving record is a must. Yeah, I bet. That's why you should keep a perfect driving record all the time as much as you can, right? Canadian tanker yanker trucking is a job. I look at working for a company as a business deal. I work and they pay me. The day doesn't work anymore for me, and part ways simple as that. Exactly. I'll work here, you give me money, that's it. There's nothing more to it than that. At any point they can fire you, and at any point you can quit. That's not a lifestyle. Alexander, my lesbian plaid shirts are washed. Score. That's great. You can throw people at knives while you're wearing those shirts. At least you're doing laundry, unlike many people at the Loves. I would give literally my big toe for a leather seat with heated and chilled abilities in your truck. The chilled part, I think that was pretty cool on there. It's so disappointing to have a camera and have a nice truck like that, and then they put cameras in there. And they're like, we're going to put these nice seats, but then it's like they shake your hand and then slap you. Getting into Air Liquide pays extremely well and no border crossing and home nightly. There you go. Yeah, the border crossing seems to be a pain. Takes a long time. Some companies pay, though. I've seen places here paying $100 to doing a year at CFI, then moving on. They're okay. 35 cents, that's really low to start. 37 cents after 6, so 39 cents after a year, basically. That's not super great. Leo's, it's a lifestyle. Do what works for you, but don't push it on others. I like your show. Yeah, Leo's, look, I'm just saying. For me, it's a job. It's not really a lifestyle. It's a job because you go to work and you come back. You're not going to a lifestyle. I mean, if it's a lifestyle, do you live at 24 hours a day? I mean, maybe people do. Like, I'm a driver 24 hours a day. No, I don't think so. We're going to have to get going here in Fleet Nav Systems. Drive safe and have a great week. Reach out via the YouTube channel if you have any questions. Thank you for being here, Fleet Nav Systems, and answering questions. I appreciate it. There's some Fleet Nav System information. Go to their YouTube channel. Check them out. I should say, don't forget about Jay, too, at Auto Transport Intel, 8 p.m. Central, Tuesday, live, talking about auto transport and the business of cars. Ooh, I sound like Kevin Rutherford. The business of car hauling. How about that? Kevin Rutherford. In my opinion, the over-road companies want to keep drivers happy, and for a long time they need to have a better than standard truck interior. Leather seats and steering wheel. They should. I mean, a small upgrade on the trucks would keep drivers better. That isn't what drivers complain about as much. Usually drivers complain about their treatment at companies. It's not usually the truck. I think local trucking is closer to just a job. Over the road is more than a lifestyle. I never saw it like that, I guess. It's a job. They're sending me a load that I haul for them, and then they pay me part of the money. That's basically a job. That's how I see the job. Drivers want to be comfortable and feel like they're being taken care of. Somebody who's been driving for 3 or 4 years does not want a bare bones truck. I think it's a good way to attract drivers. You put out, hey, look at this nice truck. CR England's got some Western Express 5700X trucks that I've seen rolling around. That's pretty nice. I haven't seen it inside, but it looks pretty nice on the outside. Was it a 3-bunk truck? No, not that I saw. CR England backed next to my truck last night without hitting me. Alexander, I hope you have that on Dashcam. You should post that and put on there a most unbelievable CR England video ever, and it will be. So The truck was blue, but I did see yellow GP Transco truck. That must be an owner-operator, and a few teal ones. But the truck was going by Lafayette a few days ago was white, so I believe the teal trucks avoid you. Yeah, they do. They go around me. Alexandra, I'm ready to go back to Minnesota. It's too hot. No way. I mean, there's too much snow up there. 1-to-1 dispatch to driver ratio equals self-dispatch. See the horse. Yeah, maybe that's the 1-to-1. You're your own dispatcher, which wouldn't be terrible if you could see all the loads. I would tell if an end user, Cash is King Trucking, at Sierra England Truck, if he could back in beside me and not take my mirrors off while I'm sleeping. That's really something. Why they're parking in the spot? Right. Why is England parking in a spot anyway? Nomad Trucker, right. What are they doing? Isn't there parking at the fuel island? Darnell, so one-hand cameras, add smell-o-vision. Dispatch will refuse to watch them. That's too much. That's like almost torture. Lifestyle of the rich and famous, Steel Horse. Yeah, for some of us out there at some of these good places like you, yes. Corgi, I'm not a trucker. I'm just a person who happens to drive trucks. Yeah, I mean, a lifestyle is 24 hours a day, right? You're always this, whatever. So when you're at shopping, I'm with driver and the arrow points up. I don't know. I was at a customer. I was a drop for both of us. I had to spend the night because of my time constraints. Got on the CB and congratulated him for not screwing up. He appreciates that, although he may not have had a CB. You leave tips for hotel maids, Michael Muller, but that's those people, and they don't get that many tips, but they should be paid a proper wage as well. I mean, we shouldn't have to subsidize the employer. Wherever you're staying, probably you're staying a Hyatt or something, a Marriott, Westin, one of those kind of high-end places. They should pay their room keepers enough. They couldn't hear you. No CB, Nomad Trucker. That's what I'm saying. They don't have a CB. Alexander, I don't care if my truck is bare bones. I'm in it for good treatment and good pay. Look, all I want is air conditioning, that kind of thing. I want air. At least got to run air. Everything's got to work on it. And I don't want some old, 93 piece of junk or something like that. Otherwise, no. But the cooled seats just seemed like a nice touch. Alexander, I don't run a dash cam. NSA uses them to spy on citizens. Well, I don't know how they would use it to spy on citizens, so I'm thinking about that. If it's not connected to the internet, and I'm with you on all the spying stuff, believe me. But if it isn't connected to the internet, I don't know how it could spy on you. I want good pay, I want to be treated well, but I don't want a bare bones truck. I want a fridge, that would be nice on the road. Leather seats would be great. Leather steering wheel, Smith gives you all those. They upgrade the truck a little for you. I think over the road trucks mostly come with fridges now at most places. Do you need a propane tank standard for a barbecue? Yeah, hauling around propane tanks on there, that'd be good. I wouldn't switch jobs unless somebody had all three of these things and paid you better. Then you say, this is what I'm looking for. If I don't have it, I'm out. I got it. Romulo, take care and keep on trucking. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Trucking Journeys, not only to submit trucks in the last couple of years, all come with fridges and leather seats. That's what I thought. And leather steering wheel, but they also have LED headlights. I like them, but then in the winter they freeze over. So I wish they were heated. And that's a safety, not like, you just want some extra thing. That would be a great safety feature. Nomad Trucker doesn't have a leather steering wheel, but that's your fault. I'm enjoying K&B. Michael, I don't like them, but they treat me well. The moment they don't, I'll move on. Well, I like the 1250 guarantee and all that stuff. Just there are too many instances of people writing in to me, besides the video that's online, of them constantly bothering people. And I don't like to be micromanaged. If they would stop that kind of stuff, I would be in. You're late. What did you miss? We talked about Roadrunner and Maverick, Drive Cam, right? The Swift lawsuit, 20 best fleets to drive for. The Roadcheck is May 5th to 7th. Don't forget about that coming up. Oh, who's been chased by this thing? Right. And remember these? Who's been chased around by one of these things ever in their life? Oh, those were the days, right? Getting chased by this or seeing them cruise by you. They're on the used market now. Sometimes you could find them around. They used to chase people all over the place. Those are pretty good. Nomad Trucker, yours is always on. Yeah, I don't know how it would record, although I'm in with you, right? Company I work at has dash cams, and they pay you a penny a mile if you don't cover it. Oh, great. James, that's the second place then that we've seen that pays you anything for them. Alexander, I have regular headlamps and it gets too cold where I run in the winter that I have to knock the ice off. Isn't there always that little dot though? And believe me, in these LED lights, it doesn't take much ice and they get covered up and pretty soon you can hardly see anything. They're great otherwise, way better and brighter. But no, I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan because they don't heat the cover. Corgi, your company has no inverters, no APU, and doesn't idle over a certain temperature. What the heck? But I know that place, these are some of the downsides of that place. And no fridges, right. Now, I don't understand the no idling. What do they do to you if it is a certain temperature, let's say, and you idle the truck? What would they say to you? I don't think I would ever work for a company that did not have an APU on the trucks. Not only is it a comfort thing, but also saves fuel and helps your truck avoid emissions. Look, I agree. I like APUs on the road. Always did. And plus the bunk heater. I like the combination of the little bunk heater. Webasto. Man, that thing blasts you out of there. Those are the greatest things ever. They're not doing that with me. Dispatches 30 drivers and said in John was his best month. Only 3 late to appointments. All right, that's the way to do it. So because they're not doing that to you, stay there. And I think their pay is good relative to the industry. And they start out good and everything. Though, you've probably seen the videos. And the problem is, once I did my video, a ton of people wrote into me with examples and pictures of messages and that kind of thing of what they do to some people. And that may not be happening to you. They're waking them up. They're saying, hey, one guy sent me a message from the system in there. The green light's on in your dock. You need to get moving. Okay, that kind of thing, that's super aggravating. You give me a load, I'll deliver it on the time that you say. I'll be on time. That's it, if I agree to it. But this kind of micromanagement, I couldn't take, and I got a lot of those kind of pictures. And until they stop that, I can't recommend it because I can't tolerate it. Truckle BTBL sent me some photos on Instagram. Oh, I haven't been on Instagram in forever. There's so many socials, and I can't keep up with all the socials. I should get over there and clear that out. I bought heated windshield wiper blades and put them on, and my company reimbursed you. That does matter. Look, if they'll pay for it, they should put them on too, personally, I think. And I'd probably want them to put it on. I'm not super handy like that. But that they're paying for it, that's good. But they should probably be on every truck. I mean, can we all agree that is a safety feature? That would help a lot. Where you could actually see in the winter, you don't have all that ice build up on your blades because they're warm. So absolutely. Run my EPU if it's over 25 degrees. You'd be looking for another job. Okay, so they let you run it, so no problems. They would tell me to use the bunk heater. Okay, so it's a temperature below problem. If it's a Webasto bunk heater, and I've had those, and I've had it with just a single vent under the bunk, that thing blasts you out of there on full blast. So if yours isn't doing that, see if they can fix it, because I've had them, and they really work. It keeps the entire cab warm in the truck, super cold. Cassius King Trucking says you can get a heated windshield wiper kit on eBay for under $200. Got one ordered already for your truck or for your car. And really, well, for not in your case, but I guess a company driver should have it paid for. James S. Even with my current halogens, I've had some trips across Wyoming where even with the lights on the cover, they still cover over because it's so cold. Imagine an LED, though, at 20 degrees, they get covered over. 25 degrees, they don't produce any heat at all. So any icing on the truck just completely covers the headlights immediately. Swift coaches you and points you with outward-facing cams by people who haven't driven. That's no good, right? And they still have the outward cam, but they don't watch you. But it's still by people that don't drive. And you could do what I would do, which is tell them, I don't listen to people that don't drive. They're not going to tell me how to drive when they are legally prohibited from doing the job. That's what I'd tell. I'd say, oh, aren't you legally prohibited from doing my job? That's what I would ask. They probably wouldn't like it, though. Alexander's fat, and I don't like getting worms. You like the polar bears, so they got in the winter area. In the summer, I see them in the zoo. And then they just spray them with cold water, and that's you have to go where it's cool to cool off. Well, it's those shirts. Those flannel shirts are super warm, you said. So what about that? That just came out of the laundry. Darnell, if a trooper was chasing you, it had to be the old days. The new trucks can't outrun a geo tracker. Well, I mean, when they turn around to catch you when you're going 58. Custom North Lake, Illinois micromanages phones in the washroom stalls. What the heck? I work for Western. They don't monitor idling. Just use a stick to auto idle. I do love driving all night. The only communication I get from employers is a few load numbers in the text. Look, the nighttime, I like it better. That's why I always do afternoons and nights, when I can. The loads, you don't have to worry about loads, but anyhow, there's no traffic. The scales are closed. Generally, there's no cops around. It's great. Alexander, I'm not micromanaged. The only time I'm contacted if I'm late to get an estimated ETA. That's the way it should be, right? If you're a professional and they think you're a professional, they're treating you that way. They give you load, and then that's it. They don't need to talk to you again. They go, well, that load's been given out. It's going to be delivered. That's how they should do it. These guys literally just spent an hour trying to convince me I should drive for them for $1.05 because you get free DirecTV. Well, that's a pretty good deal. I'm sure owner-operators are probably jumping on that immediately. $1.05. Abe the trucker, he was 60 minutes talking smack on K&B. You should invite him on. He's welcome to come on, whoever that is, right? I don't know who that is, but yeah, he's welcome to come on. Did he work there? And if they really are stopping this micromanaging thing, I'd be back in with the place. The pay is relatively good in the industry. Would just stick between the seat and the fuel pedal, so kind of keep it on yourself. But despite all that, I'm planning on making it work for as long as I need to. Yeah, in your situation, you almost have to, right? And so they're not great. That's what I was saying, but it's a place, and you'll get experience. And eventually you'll be able to get out of there if you want to. Alexander gets YouTube for $50 a month. Oh, nice. I get 70 channels and all the hockey games you can watch. Well, all right, go Blackhawks, I guess. That's the only hockey team I know. I'm so mad because I'm over gross. Yikes. Got to go back to shipper instead of going home. I'm yelling inside the truck. Clay, that's horrible. They should pay you for it. Make them pay you for it. But yeah, I agree. It's terrible. I don't like it. Trucker Beta Bailey. Okay, send it by email. Yeah, I just don't get on Instagram as much as I should. There's too many things to do. If you ever leg down on the floor by one of them under bunk heaters, it'll burn your leg. I know. James Walker, they come out so hot. That Webasto heater I had would blast the crap out of you with heat in the truck. So if you have a Webasto, I don't know about other kinds, and it is not heating the cab, and I'm talking the entire cab, just having the shades closed around the windshield, it would heat the whole cab up to super warm. On topic of James S., on topic of wiper blades, I switched your personal vehicle to silicone blades, and they've worked pretty well. Might try them on the big truck. Yeah, maybe so. Get yourself a set of them on there. I still think the trucks should be provided with heated blades by the company. That's a real safety feature that actually would help the company, and it would make everything safer. Not where they talk about cameras are safe. This is an actual feature that would improve safety. Alexandra, YouTube is pretty dope. I'm big on having subscriptions to like 50 different streaming services. Corgi, wow. I hope you don't have that much time to watch TV. Chicken Haulers looking forward to Matt's. Never know. I might go back on the road. You never know. And I will see you there on Friday at Matt's. Let's see. I have a thing for it right here. This is how you get your ticket. You can only get tickets until February 25th free. So if you're even thinking about going, order tickets. They don't cost anything. So don't show up at the door. They charge you $10 to get in. Get your tickets free. Order them now. It's in Louisville, Kentucky. And I will see everybody there. Come on. You all know me, but I don't know you. So please come up and say hi. Otherwise, I don't know who you are. Oh, I have a really little picture of you to look at. So, and some people don't even have a picture. Alexander, I wear tank tops in the summer when I'm on my truck or doing a drop and hook. I wear a shirt when presenting to customers. It's professional. Right. Absolutely. Heated wipers are for the truck. Okay, well, good. Put them on and let me know how they work. I didn't know you could get them. That seems pretty cheap. And let me know if they're going to work. Are they on all the time? Do you get a switch for them? I assume you'll just put them on yourself. Roger Penske, the Korean Mafia, is totally oblivious to fuel stats. I stopped turning my fuel receipts in from when I have to fuel out of town. They've said nothing. I don't turn in a fuel receipt either. I figure, look, it's on their card. They get the thing. So I agree with you on that. Why do you need a receipt? They get all the information immediately from the card, and they've never said anything to me. Alexander likes YouTube TV. It's a great idea. YouTube likes that you use it, and I've seen it advertised on there. I have cable at home, so I don't have it, but yeah, I mean, you get all those channels. I actually didn't know that. Cassius King Trucking, you can cook a grilled cheese on most bunk heaters. That's what I'm saying. They come out really hot. If your bunk heater is not keeping you warm, there's something wrong with it. I used to think that Maverick was the best trucking company, but not anymore. Michael Watts, this camera thing is really a problem, and now I'm finding out they didn't tell the drivers until the drivers started asking about it. I mean, if it's a company thing, there's no reason they shouldn't say anything. Hey, starting in this, you're going to get a camera. Why do they have to sneak it in there? If they think it's such a great idea, they wouldn't be so sneaky about it. He was the one who blew the lid off K&B. There is a YouTube video up. What did he blow the lid off of K&B for? I mean, the one that I saw was run hard, stay harder. I don't know. Run legal, drive hard, that guy. Right? And that's years and years old video, so I'm not sure what he blew the lid off. The only major complaint about Smith transport trucks, they don't have fog lights on any of the newer trucks, Trucking Journeys. I wish trucks all had the driving lights on them as well. I always get them on my cars. I love them. They help light the road up. I wish all companies put them on trucks. I see them on some trucks. By the way, I've seen them on most GP Transco trucks. So how about that? Including these, you can see them right there in the corner. They get them. But I think companies should put them in. They don't cost that much relative. I think they're worried about them breaking. But heck, again, it's the safety thing. Alexander, go Blues are Stanley Cup champs. I don't know where the Blues are from. Louisiana? I'm going to say, am I right? New Orleans. Because of the Blues. Dig the Fast Talking should have been a car salesman. Great channel, next gen. I appreciate that. You know, I thought about trying car sales, and you just have to lie too much to people. From the people I know that are in car sales, there's really no good way to make money in it without lying to everybody. Like all this stuff. You know, over at the Saturn dealer, remember Saturn years ago? They were still selling rust proofing. A friend of mine was over there selling rust proofing. The body panels are composite. They're polymers. They're a polymer composite body panel. They don't rust. But the company was selling rust proofing, and so I just don't think it's a legitimate way to make money. I don't know if you can make a lot of money and still be, have any kind of integrity. I'm gone. Big 10-4. Keep screwing it down, Mark. Catch you next week. George Wilson, thank you. I appreciate it. The trucks here that have an APU do not have bunk heaters. The APU that runs the heat like a typical truck would. Oh, it doesn't get warm. If you close the curtains, it's good enough to keep you warm. All right. Well, as long as you stay warm. You know, I think the bunk heater would actually save them even more money, really. But as long as you stay warm, it's okay with me, right? Michael Cole, when I worked at Western, there was no microwave in the truck. I could use the bunk heater to heat up the cans. Exactly. It's so hot. I'm pulling dry can. I'm never going back to flatbed, always. Flatbed is a lot of work. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's just a lot of work. When you're extreme upper 30s, it's a lot of work. Nomad Trucker says flatbed is where it's at. Right. You look like that. Right. That's true. James S. I had to switch my wash fluid this winter because the company provides would freeze. Exactly. Made company buy 7 gallons of Prestone driver fluid. Well, you know what? There's somebody. Wait a minute. Trucking Answers has a video about windshield washer fluid. I make my own windshield washer fluid in the wintertime. It's an older video. Go look it up. I make it myself. I put it in my cars and in the semi because we have the same problem. It freezes. My windshield washer fluid will not freeze. It will not freeze. I guarantee it. And I've used it for many, many years. My cars get it as well. Basically, I mix the winter fluid with 91% isopropyl. And if depending on how cold it is, I'll mix it 50-50. It smells like a hospital coming out of the nozzles, but I'll tell you what, it will not freeze. Companies preach safety, and instead of making the truck safer, they rather watch you. Yes. We know that does add pressure. I know. They're making you nervous, and it causes more accidents by making you nervous, worrying, if I do this, they're going to see this. If I'm trying to do this. Let me make the decisions on the road. I have plenty of experience, as many people do. You know, I've been doing this long enough. I don't need somebody at the office to decide 2 weeks from now. Oh, you remember that 2 weeks ago at 3:07 p.m. when you were 3 feet too close to that car when you were 197 feet? Remember that? No. And cut off your hair bun. Bad enough that we have to watch the four-wheelers. I know. Now we got to watch that. Nomad Trucker used 90%. It's 91%. Pour in the windshield wash fluid and smells great. Exactly. Cleans it. It sterilizes your windshield. It's actually clean enough to eat off of, although a lot of the food falls off of it. Throwing straps is too much work, says Alexandra. All right. I got a friend who throws straps and his shoulders are messed up. I know. It just was a lot of work. That was my first road job was flatbed, but then I thought, man, here it's wintertime and everything's frozen. There's got to be a better way to do this. Trucker Bill Bailey likes winter. I can cook all my canned goods in the cans. Oh, that's true, right. We could do like cook it right in the engine. Just sit it up there. Roger Penske had by my own, but went to Albuquerque a few weeks ago and forgot. Snowstorms are below zero. Walmart doesn't even carry Sub-Zero fluid in Phoenix, right? We shouldn't shop at Walmart, though. We know that. Had to buy it there. I just make my own. And then I do that all winter and no problems. The Run Hard video 6 years ago. Okay, Run Hard, Drive Hard, something. It's an old video, but that's a K&B video. And that continued on at that place for many years. And that's the problem. They should not send the police to do a wellness check on you just because they want you to get driving. That should not happen. Corgi, yeah. Run hard, stay harder. That's what she said exactly. I couldn't think of what it was. It's hard in there somewhere. James S. does that 4 ounces per reservoir fill. Wow. This truck I have has 2 gallons, and some of them have a gallon of alcohol in it. 50-50 on some of them. And I guarantee you it will not freeze. Got to throw them right. There's an old timer that's been doing 30 years. Got my next one. I'm deadheading from Dallas to Amarillo. Oh, nice empty miles. That's not bad. They pay you either way. So, it's the St. Louis Blues. I was close. It's halfway to Louisiana. I'll stick with reefer freight. Most have to do is stand in the trailer and secure your load. And plus, sometimes in the summer with the reefer freight, it's cool. You go stand in the warehouse. It's nice and cool in there. This car was only driven to church every Sunday by a little old lady. Exactly. And you got to do that. And you got to sell rust proofing and acid protection, paint protection, all this other stuff. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Run hard, get paid. Oh, that's it. Right. Or either way. It only takes 10 hours to get loaded. I did reefers, can't do it. It depends if you get paid for that time. And if you go to a place, the right place, and ask the right questions, you can do a lot of drop and hooks. Like Ghirardelli was a drop and hook. Okay, so you went in there, you were out of there in 30 minutes. Darnell want running lights? Do like our Canadian friends and put light bars all over the front of your truck and blind everybody. It's not just Canadians doing that, believe me. There's a lot of people that do that. And even Gracie can't believe people do it. And she is still sleeping. Hard to believe. Go, grannies, go. Yeah, that's what you got to tell people. GP Transco. Anyone have a favorite trucking company slogan? How about one you really don't like? Not too many companies have slogans, I guess. What is the slogan at GP Transco? You know, that's they don't all have slogans. Alexander, I use vinegar, alcohol, and then the washer. I also heat my windshield really hot and usually drive with my window down. Wow. So you're like cold, hot. I thought about vinegar, which I tried once, but then it didn't smell good. So the alcohol smells great. I mean, it smells like a hospital. And so you can just boot the vinegar out of there. I mean, your way, it's almost like you almost need a cookbook. I mean, it's something you could show like in a, Saturn sell themselves, cash is king, right? And remember, no negotiation at Saturn. The price is the price. Although that's what I do too. Trucker Hershey, treat you like family. That could be good or bad. Who does that? But though, who has that as their slogan? I mean, can anybody even name a trucking company slogan? That's an interesting question. Jason Hall, you want to contact me about your company in Indy? Lots of them I love as someone who's been driving for 17 years. They're for sure doing it better. All right, let's got the emails right there on the screen. If you've been there all those years and they're doing it right, let me know what they're doing. And do they have driver-facing cameras? I got a question. Can a company make you download an app on your personal phone? Apparently they can. I haul fuel and the company doesn't pay for my phones. It's an MDM. I don't know what an MDM app. But I did a video about this too. Where I told people to just go to orientation with a flip phone, basically, because companies are wanting you to use your phone for their business. See, they can ask you to do it, and you can say, I'm not doing it. And so then we kind of have a standoff. That might be your job, though. So how much do you like your job is the question. You could ask them, hey, why don't you pay my phone bill or something? Give me a company phone. I think they should provide a phone for that kind of thing. I should, but I don't know. It depends. How much do you like your job? Because if you push it, you probably get booted. Yep, companies that have Express in their name can only go 58 miles an hour. I believe his name is Run Hard, Get Paid. Yeah, that's a better name than my name that I gave him. Rain-X All Season is good too. I don't trust the all season. Look, I run in the winter. I run the winter kind, of course, and in the summer I run the bug relief kind of Rain-X. Always Rain-X in the cars with Rain-X wipers. And in the truck, I buy gallons. I'm taking a gallon with me today. So I buy it for the truck myself out of my own monies. They won't pay for it because they provide windshield wash fluid. They go, we have plenty of fluid right here you can use. So they won't pay for it. I don't care. I want to be able to see, and I make my own. And if it's going to be below zero, it's 50-50. I run 50-50 alcohol because the 91% has a minus 173 degree freeze point. So there is no way that windshield wash fluid freezes. It just doesn't. Walking Journey, hello, hey, what's going on? It's good to see you. Alexander, you run your freight at 20 below in the summer. It's a nice break from the heat. Yeah, an ice cream load or something, and you open those doors and get blasted by that cold air. That's super nice. Geez, that's a big reservoir. Yours holds 0.75 gallons. Really? James, this is a Cascadia. And I filled it before, and I know it's 2 gallons. So I don't know where you're getting less than a gallon. Ironically, I have that and a really small DEF reservoir of like 11.8 gallons. So really tiny on that, but they give you this gigantic windshield wash fluid thing. It should be in the truck. Who remembers in Ford trucks, like semis, it used to be behind your seat. Okay, everybody remember that? It was in the cab, behind the driver's seat was the windshield wash fluid. What a great idea. And the tube would run out. Wow, Bill must remember this with me at least. And the tube would run out, and you press the plunger on the floor with your left foot, and every time you pressed it, it would squirt onto the windshield. But it never froze because it was in the cab with you. That's the way to do it. Trucking Journey, safety starts with me, or Stacy starts with you, right? But except most places don't seem to have a motto, or at least they don't print it on their truck. Maybe some do. Run with the big dogs. Oh, okay, right. I think all truckers should just say we're shutting down for 3 weeks, see what the country does. Yeah, they would make you go back to work. Because if you shut the whole country down, you'll be ordered back to work, National Guard. You have to shut one company down at a time. You want a company to change, like Maverick with the drive cams? You get one driver who's your leader, and you get his phone number, and you all agree on a time. Next Monday, or whatever, February 9th, it doesn't matter, whatever day it is, at 9 a.m., all the trucks park legally, safely, and send a message. We're not driving until you call this number. That's it. They'll get mad. They'll flop around on the ground. They'll threaten you. Nobody moves until they call the number. That person is the only one that can send a text to get the trucks moving. And it has to be a big company because it puts a lot of pressure on the company. What do they have, 1,000 trucks, maybe more? All those trucks stop running. Oh my gosh, right? Freak out city in there. They'll call and the cameras will get turned off because the trucks don't move till the cameras are turned off. Period. It works. One company at a time, though. Whole country, no. You shut down one carrier at a time. That's how you do it. All you got to do is get together. It only take, I would guarantee you, an hour or two. Maybe a few hours. They'll be on the phone to the number you give them. When they get 800 messages with the same phone number, they'll be on the phone. GP Transco, they do have a slogan. Rethink what you know about trucking. What do you guys think? It sounds like a corporate slogan. I don't know. Maybe companies need a slogan. I don't know. Rethink what you know about trucking. Okay. Paste it on the trucks. I mean, it just sounds like a corporate slogan, but I agree. She sleeps to your voice, and I use Everclear and purple washer fluid mix. Wow. Yeah, she does. Gracie back there snoozing. Use Everclear. That's pretty expensive windshield washer fluid you got going down there. Michael Muller, put Dawn dish soap and rubbing alcohol in your windshield washer fluid. Really? Wow. That's it. It might work because it takes grease out of your way. Now there's a slogan, right? There is a slogan for you about that. Rain-X clogs your nozzles. I've not had any problems with it. People might think we're in the bus, train, or flight, taxi purpose. All right. Not into the local guy my brother wants to do. That's why I ask. Rethinking transportation. Oh, right. But we could rethink all different kinds of transportation. GP uses shut up and drive. Rihanna will start her own half of the company. She'll be suing, right? I'm on the way to start a job back to dynamic transit. Come on. All right. Let us know how that goes. Hope the truckers are trying to get some form of exercise because it's really hard to do with your health and wealth. Thank you, Mark Backwoods. Yeah, everybody, look, 30 minutes a day, right? Go and walk, something. If it's bad weather or whatever, I get that. But in nice weather, get those tennis shoes on and just do it. How about that for a slogan? That'd be a good slogan for somebody. The problem with it gives the customer potentially complete access to my phone. I agree with you. It's a Walmart app. The MDM is basically an operating system and control app. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. The problem is if you say I'm not doing it, they'll potentially fire you. So that's why I'm asking you, just from the practical standpoint of how much do you like your job? That's the practical point of it. Do you want to keep your job? And they say download the app, you have to download the app. If you don't want them having access to your phone, tell them, give me a phone. Bring a flip phone in and say, I can't download. I don't have any room on my phone. Something like that. It depends. They may still fire you. That's just the practical point of that, something like that. How about union drivers? Yeah, let's get some union drivers going. GP, I don't know if you listen to WRXT, but the regular guy opened up a restaurant. Here, eat this. I love it. There's a company called Arca. Their motto is, we're pulling for you. Oh, very clever. Thinking about getting a flip phone working, keeping my personal phone private. You should keep your personal phone private. It's your phone. They don't get to intermix. If they want you to have a phone, I think they should give you a phone, not even pay part of your phone bill. They give you a phone and go, this is a company phone. And I'd say if you do anything on this phone other than company stuff, you're fired. Fair enough? And you do only personal stuff on your phone. I think that's super fair. We can't use the word think twice in a phrase. That would be a weird phrased thing. Grammarly would never allow that to pass. The slogan on our trailers is dedicated to service, but our safety slogan, safety starts with me, and they're both stupid. I don't know, does slogans change anything, though? I mean, if it's some kind of known brand like Just Do It, then you know exactly what I'm saying, right? The taste of a new generation, right? Stuff like that. I got it. But otherwise, for trucking, I don't know if that draws people in because it's the idea is to relate to the brand, a brand relation, because you have a relationship with the brand. But I don't know if there's a relationship with the trucking company because of the slogan. Drive a P389, and I think bone dry might take a full gallon, including filling the lines. That's enough to last you one day. That's the thing of it. I'm surprised. I mean, this one is a large 2-gallon tank. Maybe I got an extra large one. That's what she said. That's what somebody's going to write here. So I'm ahead of you. Ruben, a flip won't have good graphics or easy texting. I know, but we just show them the flip phone and say, this is my phone. So I can't download anything. That's what I'm saying. Go buy one just go buy one cheap at a Walmart, as people love to go in there, or a box store. $20. Get a 1-month card so it works. You go, yeah, it works absolutely, right? And that's it. And you show them that and go, I can't download anything. Trucking strike, but it has to be one company at a time. That's how you change it. After 2 or 3 companies, the other companies will just capitulate without you striking. You go, you're next. What do you want to do? And believe me, when they see it work, they'll come immediately to the table because each company has different problems. Like K&B, which we talked about, had this micromanagement problem, so we'd get that changed. And then Maverick has really good pay, so we want the cameras turned off. And so then Western, well, they don't have a camera, but their pay is really poor, so we need to get that increased. Each one has different things. So a nationwide strike, but we want different things out of different companies. So to get the companies to change, we have to shut down a single company at a time. The thing is, can the drivers there get it done? Few hours, you can tell you're from the Midwest. Alexander, I've lived here my whole life. Grew up in Hammond, Indiana, and I grew up near a White Castle, so a block from the White Castle. Went to Hammond High School, and finally moved down here. I lived in Chicago for a little bit after I started driving on North Whipple Avenue, but then in the 90s, moved down here to Lafayette. Somebody tried to break into my Ford Fairmont, and I got kind of sick of the crime and moved down here. So... But yeah, few hours, got it right. My company motto is I'm not UNICEF. Oh, nice. Do people know what UNICEF is? But right, that is a good motto, right? My company motto is getting paid. Well, that's a good one. Just do it. Yeah, but see, you know what I said. When I say that, you picture immediately what it is because it's a relationship to the brand. The slogan relates back to the brand. But in trucking, does a slogan matter? The slogan isn't getting you... Like you can't put it on shirts and then people are like, oh, I know exactly. That's GP Transco. I don't know if it relates back to a business sense of trucking. They need to apply to drivers, not freight customers. Well, GP Transco, I think your customer is who you're trying to get business from. So I think that's where the slogan has to relate to, not really to the driver. You want to get freight that your customer is the customer. Drivers are your employees. So just like Nike doesn't have a slogan that relates back to its employees, it relates to people buying its shoes. Same thing. And I don't know what their slogan is over there. Linden Truck is down here in Beaumont, Texas. I like to belch and do other things. I'm picking up chicks when I go to Walmart. Well, hey, there's something to do there. Best in class. Yeah, Amos, what class? Their own class that they did for themselves. Remember this, Swift does not have driver-facing cameras. That's the option for other places. New load is Green Bay to Amarillo. 1,100 loaded plus 400 empty. That's a pretty good Green Bay from Amarillo. Except it's going to snow up here Wednesday, so be careful about that. If we're going to get 2 to 4 here in Lafayette, you're quite a ways north of that, so look out for that. Rethink and think are two different words. It goes to stab. Oh, you're going against the rules. You're a rule breaker. ARC has multiple slogans. We're pulling for you. Make driving fun. What the truck driving? Yeah, they can't have multiple slogans and then have them mean anything. TAC trucking is TAC trucking. We grow together. But what does that mean, though? And when I see that, only reason I know it's from them is because they have their name in it. That's not a great slogan. Pulling is very rude and Swedish. Leading at every turn. Okay. But I mean, that slogan, I don't know. Do people know what you're talking about? Like all these slogans that people have wrote other than TAC Trucking because their name is in it, nobody knows what the company is, really. So I don't think that a slogan in a trucking company, I don't know if it works. Maybe because I'm not a customer. Maybe customers of trucking companies know what the slogan is. Green Bay is the worst roads and it's going to be iced over. That's what I'm saying. Be careful about that. Only have 650 miles in since Thursday. Been sitting 2 days in Sacramento. Mike F. What, are they paying you? Are you getting paid? You should get paid a day's pay. That's my idea. The new Motorola Razr flip phone is $1,500. Well, Texas Trader, I'm saying get one of those flip phones that hangs on the wall with the minute cards next to it. And get a minute card and go in with that. Go, here's my phone. The guys who own their truck look into hydrogen splitters to put on your truck for saving fuel. Not many look into it. Thinks, okay, well, we'll science that truck up, right? And blind you with science. I saw a trailer that had 2 stickers. One said passing side, the other said suicide. That's a clever slogan. If you don't like the weather in Chicago, just wait. Yeah, it's going to not be good coming up soon, certainly. I have a personal motto. If you come between me and my food, it's scary. Alexandra, do you have that written though on a shirt or anything? I mean, is that an official slogan? Or, I mean, holy mackerel, what does the cat think about? I mean, is that on any kind of, do you print that on the truck? Oh, would they print that on the truck? That's pretty good. Alexander, laundry is done and clean panties. Well, there are probably several drivers on the CB that would say the same thing. At least you're doing laundry. There's a video on YouTube from a Walmart driver getting caught soliciting underage girls, I'm sure. He gets caught by a dad who made a bait account and the Walmart driver fell for it. Well, and it's not just Walmart. I mean, there's creepy people. And, of course, this person should be lifetime in jail, of course. The industry leads itself to anonymity, and this is a problem. Amazon trailer should say Prime Inc. and then really small words, also known as New Prime, also known as hauling packages. It says we don't know what we are. We move stuff for money. Oh, that would actually be an accurate slogan. That, you know what? That's so crazy that's actually a very good slogan. That's actually really good. We move stuff for money. It's direct. People would look at it and go, oh, that's clever. That's actually very good. You saw a slogan with the crosshairs saying your face here. Yikes. MTS, going local was the best decision I made. Paid hourly, home most days, and a full Friday night through Monday morning. If I have to sleep in my truck, meals and showers are paid for. That's very good. If that's what you want, some people like being gone. It's for them. So it depends what you want to do. Alexander's a St. Louis Cardinals sticker on your truck. I'm looking to get it printed. Okay, Cardinals, I know now that's baseball. That one I know because I've heard of it talked about. Steel Horse gets paid for resets. That's really good, and that's unusual in the industry. Most places don't pay you for resets on the road, but you are at an excellent place. Probably one of the best places in trucking. Don't feel bad about being Miss Western. I say 10 times a day, then excuse me. Wow. It'll be fun at the truck show, seeing where everybody's from just by how they talk. Stick it in the rear. Okay, that'll be like a cutting edge one. Remember one UPS slogan had the tightest ship in the shipping business. Oh, right. But that was more, I agree, and that's not a trucking one per se, right? That was for customers, us, people who ship with them, not for their drivers. So I think the customer is the one you're making the slogan for. But I like we move stuff for money. I like it. It's just the most direct way to do it. Hopefully the robots don't take over our jobs soon. You got decades before the truck drives itself around. Backing up and take this load. Also, football team, Arizona Cardinals. Oh. Okay, but this was St. Louis, so I still think I'm right. See, I know nothing about sports. Swift Transportation, you stash it in the trailer, we'll knock it down. Hey, they're the best in class at that kind of stuff. Let's see when I put this out here. Oh, don't forget to join OIDA because I have to go make my company some money because it's just a job for me. But don't forget to join OIDA. It's our best chance, really, to get anything done in the industry. And I didn't put this out here for a couple weeks. Where did it go? Still looking for it over there. This is a number, right, to the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. If you need this number, please call it. If you know someone who could use it, call it. Write it down. It's 24/7. It's anonymous, okay? It's anonymous. Trucking industry is a lonely industry. Don't let it get that lonely, certainly. So that's that number. All right. So, but I have to go make my company some money, as always, before they yell at me, right, and say it's your job to be here. Moving your business forward 1 mile at a time. I don't remember what that is, too. Right. Oh, that's right, Alexander. I'm sorry. You won't be the truck show. You have surgery. Say hope to your doctor. Yeah, and please let me know how that goes and everything that, that goes well for you. And maybe we'll see you at a different one. Maybe July. Maybe someone. We'll see you eventually. Dragon people from St. Louis used to say football Cardinals or baseball Cardinals. Oh, okay, right. See, I don't know anything about sports. TAC pays $100 a day for detention. I don't think that's enough. $35 a stop. That's good. $50 for driver assist, which is not going to happen. I'm never earning that. $150 a day for 24 hours of breakdown pay. See, I think that's low. Now, overall, your place pays really good. But a day if you're stuck for a day at a company and it's their fault, nothing you do, you don't have a load, you're broke down, you should get a day's pay. That's what I think. So if you're stuck for, like this person, stuck for 2 days, they don't have loads, you should get paid 2 days of pay. That's not your fault. And that makes them go get you loads. That's what I think. And that way you don't lose money. You're going to eventually lose drivers if they sit around enough not making money. $150 is not a day's pay. Okay, that's just not a day's pay. They should pay you for the day. The more you pay, the better job we'll do. That's good. That'd be one for drivers, right? Texas truckers, stay safe. I appreciate that. Have a great day. Stay alive. That's every day that I wake up is your best day. No matter if you wake up that day, hey, the rest of the day is going to go good. So that's always the goal every morning for everybody. You never know when the last day is, right? So whatever you want to do, go do it. I always say that. Why aren't you doing what you want to do? That would be a good song, right? But you just don't know when the last day is. Wild Bill was here first today and Friday, some early Friday. And I never heard about the lime job for Misty, so hopefully I'll ask her next week, what the heck is all that lime about? GP Transco was here today, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you for being here. Fleet Nav Systems was here also answering questions. And Maverick Transportation never came into the chat, although they may have been listening to it. How disappointing. Michael Cole, I appreciate you being here today. Michael Muller was here today, too. And Alexandra was here today, and I appreciate you being here and coming in. And stay safe with all these places you're going to. Get some more of those knives, throwing knives. Corgi was here. Stick it out there. You got it. You got it made. Believe me. You're in now. It's going to get better. Believe me. So you got it. Roger Penske, thank you for coming in. Nomad Trucker. Trucking Journeys was here, and Trucker Hershey also here. A lot of truckers today. Mike McCall. James S., it's good to see you today. Let's see here. Walking Journey was here today, so I've got some more here. Where am I at? Oh, Next Gen was here, right. It's good to see you. Roger Penske, thank you for coming in. Trucker Beetle Bailey, it's good to see you. I'm going to update Instagram. I got to get over there, so I will do that. I haven't been on it for a while. I do have an Instagram, but I haven't been on there. If anybody has sent me a message, Cash is King Trucking, thank you for coming in. Ryan O was here. And let's see, Chicken Hauler was also here. That's pretty good. Nomad Trucker, I appreciate it. So I do have to make my company some money. I can never, there are hundreds of people. I can't get to everybody. I appreciate you being here. Believe me, I never thought anybody would ever be here on the show. We're here live every Monday at 1 p.m. It's always amazing. And everybody be safe. It's supposed to snow late this week. There'll be more videos, and we'll see you soon, all right? So thanks for being here.